Hey guys, Jeff Griffith here down on the field at Corona del Sol with Highland senior middle linebacker Cord Krisman. Cord, coming off a loss last week, what's been the atmosphere like in practice?
I think in practice we've been focusing more on beating ourselves this week and getting ourselves into shape and coming back from it than worrying about Corona or any team we're playing. I think this is the best week of practice we've had all year.
I mean, obviously, taking that first loss can be a motivator. How have you seen that kind of manifest itself this week in preparation?
There was a lot of upset. I think Mountain Point was the number 1 or 2 team everyone wanted to beat this year, so it's kind of difficult for us to lose to them of all teams. But I think everyone got really fired up and motivated from that to come back. I think we'll have a good rest of the season. Now, tonight's opponent, Corona del Sol, they're 1-6, but they've shown some good offense. What do you know about kind of the things you're going to expect from their offense today? They got a really good receiver, and it's number 12. He's committed to ASU. He's pretty fast, and I think if we can shut him down and keep their quarterback inside the pocket, I think that they'll fall apart, and I don't think their offense will be able to put up many points on us.
Yeah, just for context, this is Ricky Pearsall going to ASU next year, wide receiver. What do you know about the way they use him and kind of his skill set?
He's their top receiver. He's their top athlete, too. He plays running back for them. They try and give him the ball as much as possible. I think he's their number 1 weapon. I think that he's the best player they have.
Yeah, definitely. And then lastly, what do you think are the keys to getting back in the win column tonight?
I think for us to get back in the win, I think we need to have a higher turnover margin, and I think our defense needs to get our offense more chances to score, and our offense needs to give them the ball back less.
Thanks, Cord. Now over to Jordan Lank with defensive end Weston Dana.
Thanks, Jeff. Down on the field here with senior defensive end Weston Dana. Weston, a tough loss last week against Mountain Point. The defensive line, holes in it. Sad in practice this week.
Just constantly just working on squeezing down the gap. If you made a mistake, you got pulled out, and you would learn from it. Watching film, seeing how you could get better, really.
So this week against Corona del Sol, we know they're 1-6, as Jeff said in his last interview. What's the key to getting back off the schneid, if you will, getting back into that win column and getting this Highland football program back where it knows it can be?
Just not overlooking our opponent, playing to the best of our ability. Do your job and stay disciplined, really.
And what has Coach Farrell really talked about with you guys today? What has he reiterated from practice or anything about keeping the defense and keeping the offense, in check?
Really, it's really the same thing. Just keep doing your job. If we're able to give the offense as many drives as they can, then we should be fine. We should score a lot.
All right, Weston, well, thank you very much. This is Highland Hawks football. We're here at Corona del Sol High School. Are you ready?
Gentlemen, tonight is what high school football is all about. This is why you came to Highland, for games like tonight. You could have chosen to go anywhere, and you chose Highland for nights like tonight. So enjoy it, relish in it, come out 100 miles an hour, hair on fire, high-octane energy and passion.
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide.
As you're playing, remember that the real competition is not against Hamilton or Mountain Point or Desert Ridge or any other team, but you versus your best self. So tonight as you wear the Highland jersey, remember you represent the entire Highland community. You represent your family, the students, the teachers, and everyone else here will see you. So as you compete against you at your best, I am confident that you will be pleased with the results. And you will be the must-see show in Arizona. Now go uphold the Highland standard. Let's go!
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to tonight's YouTube live stream here on Hawks Nest TV. A little bit of a shakeup for you tonight on the campus of Corona del Sol High School, our first road broadcast of the year. Tonight, it's your Highland Hawks facing off against the 1-6 Corona del Sol Aztecs. My name is Jordan Lank, my partner Jeff Griffith. Jeff, great to be on the road tonight covering the Hawks, and you guys on the airwaves can see what's going on. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, first time we've had a live stream in an away game, and it should be one. I'd imagine it should be the one that the Hawks fans should enjoy. I mean, they're coming in here off of a loss. They're motivated. They're playing a relatively hapless Corona del Sol team. As you said, they're 1-6. Their only win is against a relatively less than stellar opponent in Mountain Ridge at home back in week 2. So they've lost 5 straight. I think Highland should be able to put up a lot of points, regain some confidence, but it starts definitely on the defensive side of the ball after what we saw last week, Jordan.
Yeah, and on defense, as you mentioned, Jeff, last week, the rush defense, not very good for the Hawks. Jakim McKinney, the Mountain Point running back last week, ran all over that Hawks defensive line and all over the field, basically at will. This week, the Hawks will need to tighten that up a bit, and they're going to have to do that with Ricky Pearsall, who is the wide receiver for this Aztecs team as well.
Yeah, he's very talented. We'll get to him in a second, but right now we're going to toss it over to the Highland Hawks starting lineup.
Number 10, class of 2019, Caleb Herbert, quarterback.
Number 1, class of 2019, Connor Colmore, running back and safety.
55, class of 2019, Colton Allen, left tackle.
Number 66, class of 2019, Bryson Kelly, offensive guard.
Number 70, class of 2019, Caleb Allen, center.
Number 51, class of 2019, Connor Ward, offensive guard.
Number 76, class of 2019, Jared Eisentrout, right tackle.
Number 87, class of 2019, Kyle Hester, tight end.
Number 17, class of 2020, Tanner Crandall, wide receiver D.
19, class of 2019, Cody Zimmerman, wide receiver.
Number 13, class of 2019, Noah Burdick, wide receiver.
Number 89, class of 2021, Cooper Brown, defensive end.
Number 9, class of 2019, Cooper Holman, defensive end, tight end.
Number 6, class of 2020, Daniel Wood, running back and outside linebacker.
Number 22, class of 2019, Cord Crisman, middle linebacker.
Number 47, class of 2019, Griffin Nielsen, middle linebacker.
Number 20, class of 2019, Ryan Martinez, defensive back.
23, class of 2020, Jay Sean Lee, cornerback.
Number 2, class of 2019, Dayton Huffman, running back and corner.
Number 24, class of 2019, Cade K-Mac, free safety.
Number 1, class of 2019, Connor Colmore, running back and safety.
Number 8, class of 2020, Robert Kingsford, outside linebacker.
So, Jeff, as we mentioned before, the starting lineups, Ricky Pearsall, the main threat here for Corona del Sol. What do you know about him?
Well, Ricky Pearsall is a 3-star recruit listed by both 24/7 Sports and Rivals.com, two of the main recruiting sources for college sports. He's definitely a talented athlete. You know, in preparations for looking into Arizona State's matchup this week, as I do a lot with their football program kind of coverage there, they're playing Colorado this week, and they're playing against a receiver named Laviska Chenault Jr., and he is kind of a jack of all trades. They use him in the run game, slot receiver, outside receiver, and the more I check out what Corona del Sol does, Ricky Pearsall is very similar. They'll use him in a lot of different ways in the offense. They'll throw him outside, let him use his speed. They'll throw him in the slot, let him use his quickness and his good route running ability. He's really the main weapon, so if Highland can do things like press coverage at the line, get physical, double, throw some zone looks at him, get the safeties involved, they should be able to get the Corona del Sol offense in check early and often. But when you have a receiver like that who can do so many different things and be used so many different ways, I mean, he's even a running back for them at times. That's just how talented he is as a weapon in this offense. When you have a player like that who can do so many different things, it's hard to lock into him. So the key for this Highland defense, which struggled last week, as you said, giving up more than 45 points for the first time this season, the key for them is locking into where number 12 is on every single play.
Well, and as you can see now, the captain's meeting happening down at the 50-yard line. The captains for the Hawks tonight, number 24, Cade Kamak, the safety. He's on the far left. Number 71 and number 41. Looks like there's no number 71 on our roster we have up here, so we'll try to get you that as soon as we can. But number 41 is Andy Winnie. Andrew Winnie is the outside linebacker. And the fourth and final captain looks like number 66. That's Bryson Kelly, the center and guard for the Hawks. As we're just about ready to get going here in Tempe, Corona del Sol High School for some Friday Night Lights. The Hawks will receive to start tonight's contest. Uh-oh, looks like we might have the wrong Corona del Sol roster here, possibly their junior varsity squad. So hang with us here. We're going to grab a roster that's correct. The kicker for Corona del Sol is number 10, Emilio Echerivel, also a defensive back for this team. Echerivel, a low kick, line drive right at the Highland kick return team. It's going to be Connor Cullimore who picks it up, shifts to his left, and finds some space up the middle, finally tackled out around the 35-yard line. And that's where we will get to see Caleb Herbert and the Hawks offensive unit on their first drive.
Yeah, we saw last week something on that kickoff there. Last week, Mountain Point's plan to, I guess, not give the ball to these Highland return men all the way back in the end zone, their plan was to kick it high and short. I guess the plan here for Corona del Sol is low and short. A little line driver, squib kick there. I guess defenses don't want to give the ball to Highland's return men for whatever reason, but set it up at the 33-yard line, 34-yard line.
Oh, we've seen Connor Cullimore burn a couple of special teams units so far this season. And I guess that might be why Corona doesn't want to give it to him, but he does get his hands on it on that one. The Hawks will start from their own 34-yard line. And Caleb Herbert in shotgun formation to start things off, trips out to the right.
Daniel Wood in the backfield. Nope, Dayton Huffman.
Herbert takes a snap, play action, and a screen out to the right side. And it's complete to, looks like, Tanner Crandall. And Crandall gets about 12 yards on the play, and that's a good sign for the Hawks as they get the first down on their first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, 100% of the credit there belongs to that's going to be Noah Burdick and Cody Zimmerman setting up perfect blocks there. Credit to Tanner Crandall for making that catch and seeing space, but if those blocks aren't there, he's got nowhere to go. So impressive running, impressive blocking there by those two slot receivers.
Two receivers in this set, both Zimmerman and Burdick on the left side. Herbert takes a snap, shotgun formation, looks left now, completes to Cody Zimmerman over the middle for a gain of about 9 yards, maybe 10. We'll see where they mark it. But again, Jeff, another great pass play here on the first drive of the game. And they are going to mark the Hawks short of the first down marker.
Yeah, smart play call there with a short slant route. I mean, they were playing loose coverage where the Aztecs, about 5 yards, a bit of a cushion there for the slot receiver, Zimmerman. So whether it was an audible or just a play call, that's a smart play there to take advantage of that loose cushion in coverage and get that quick 8 yards.
Herbert again set up in shotgun formation. He's got 3 receivers this time, 2 to his left, 1 to his right, but they give it to Dayton Huffman out of the backfield. He gets the first down and more. About 4 to 5 yards on the play, and the Hawks move the chains yet again, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was a nice play by the middle linebacker there for Corona to get in there and stop that run. But we're already seeing the offensive line start to get some push and create seams for Dayton Huffman there. I mean, there was a wide open hole between the left guard and left tackle on that sweep right there, that sweep play out of the backfield. So if they can keep that going, that's a good sign.
Looks like Cullimore back out there on this play for the Hawks. And they give it to him after the delayed handoff. That's Cullimore. He gets about 8 yards again, and this Highland offense, again, Jeff, I feel like we're beating the dead horse here, but getting lots of yardage on these first and second down plays to force short yardage situations on second and third down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a great play call there. Going with the ISO right up the middle. The offensive line does a great job of opening up a seam for Cullimore, and then he just finds space into the second level to make a little spin move. But yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing the talent gap here present itself on the first drive for sure.
Shotgun again and play action to Cullimore. Herbert looking left down the field. That's Burdick. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Highland. What an unbelievable catch by Noah Burdick in the corner of the end zone.
Well, Jordan, I know you're excited, but I think an entirety of the credit there goes to a dime from Caleb Herbert. I mean, credit Burdick. Quite the catch. But there was no window there. That window was the size of...
it was small.
Maybe any small hole. I don't know, but that was an airtight window that he just got that ball through perfectly over the right shoulder into the end zone there. Beautiful throw by Herbert. Great route by Burdick as well.
Now Austin McNamara on for the extra point. It is up and good, and the Hawks take an early 7-0 lead.
Well, there's a sight for sore eyes if you're a Highland fan.
Yeah, sure is. After last week's upset loss, if you will, against Mountain Point, the Hawks were ranked number 1 in the state. Mountain Point at the time ranked number 12. As we mentioned in the pregame interviews, Highland now ranked 5th in the state. This Corona del Sol team ranked all the way down at number 31. So I'm sure the Hawks looking to take advantage of a 1-6 team here in Tempe.
Yeah, they've played a quality schedule. I mean, this region here that Highland and Corona del Sol both play at has some quality opponents. But we already saw it on that position. I mean, they've struggled all season to get stops on defense. And you know, we've seen Boulder Creek put up 35, Mountain View put up 49, Queen Creek put up 45. And Highland is just as good, if not better, as any of those offenses. So we're seeing it early. Highland definitely the clear favorite tonight. It's the defense's turn. And after last week, they need to stop the run.
We'll see what they can do as McNamara is kicking it away, and Corona del Sol will get their first opportunity after the return. And to the outside he goes. Is that Ricky Pearsall? It is. Out across the 50 to the 40 and into Highland territory. Finally tackled by number 24, K-Mac, out past the 40-yard line, marked down at the 37 of the Hawks.
Well, speak of the devil, Jordan. He's got speed, he's got vision, and he showed it on the first play. He touched the ball. Ricky Pearsall, talented return man. He got a great block right around the 30 and slipped by it, and then he turned on the jets. I thought he was going to get stopped, but he absolutely hit a second burst of speed and got all the way into Highland territory. That's an impressive return from an impressive player. ASU's got a good one.
And now a penalty flag on the first play from the scrimmage as Highland likely jumped off sides there.
It's like a neutral zone infraction.
It is a neutral zone infraction. 5-yard penalty. We will redo first down. 1st and 5 now from the Highland 32. So not what you want in terms of field position if you're the Hawks. But I think this defense is up to the challenge. They give the ball to their running back here. That's number 4, Tim Liscombe. Liscombe is their bell cow back, if you will. His 70th carry on the season, came in with 69, 271 yards.
He's a nice back, Jordan.
Sure is. Quarterback looking right, incomplete, intended for Pearsall. Great coverage on the play there by Jay-Sean Lee.
Yeah, it was great coverage. I know we've seen at times this season. I remember the Skyline game. He had a rough night. That's great coverage by Jay-Sean Lee there. Really good one-on-one coverage. You don't see that a lot in the high school level, especially on a short slant route, which is the receiver's advantage immediately on a play like that.
Well, the quarterback, Ryan Helt, he's a senior wearing number 3 out there, takes the snap. About a 5-step drop, finds a man in the running back screen. Again, that's Liscombe. Tackled out of bounds. And gets enough yardage for the Aztecs first down.
Yeah, just a perfectly executed screenplay. We saw some of the defensive linemen. I think it was Cooper Holman and Daniel Wood got back in the backfield, and then I think they realized this is a screenplay. But they were frozen long enough in the backfield to give Liscombe time to get space, and they tried to jump at that ball. They didn't rush the quarterback because they knew it was a screen, but they were too late.
Again, Liscombe on the ground, tackled short gain there by number 6, Daniel Wood.
Yeah, that was a great play off the edge. He just no one covering him. He got into the backfield and sniffed that out. That's an impressive play by Daniel Wood for sure.
Brings up 2nd down and about 9. Aztecs working quickly, looking deep into the end zone, but overthrown was, I believe, Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, I think they're lucky he got overthrown. He was in double coverage. That was more of a throwaway than anything. He didn't have much on that play.
So quickly, as I mentioned, Jeff, this Aztecs offense working with tempo. 3rd down and 9 from the 22 of Highland. Big play here for the Hawks. Help, 3-step drop, looking left in. He's sacked again by Daniel Wood getting into the backfield, and the Hawks force a big 4th down.
Yeah, I think the weakness is here clearly for this Corona del Sol offense is the offensive line, and we're seeing it early, and they're testing this offensive line with edge blitzes, particularly from the outside linebacker Daniel Wood, and he's a great rusher, and he's proving it already, getting into the backfield with relative ease.
Loss of 6 yards on the play brings up a 4th down and 15 from the 28. The Aztecs come out to kick a field goal.
45-yarder.
And it'll be number 10, Emilio Echerivel. The kick is up. Is it good? Certainly looks like it. And it is. A nice 45-yarder there by Echerivel. And the Aztecs are on the board. It's 7-3 in favor of Highland.
Well, I mean, we can't really say the defense did a poor job there because they did have technically only gave about 15 yards of offense at the end of the day. But the kick return really did the entirety of setting up those points. So credit again to Ricky Pearsall. He hasn't touched the ball once on offense, but he's still so far the player of the game for Corona del Sol. And I think the player of the game so far for Highland, talking defensively, it's Daniel Wood. He is manhandling the Corona del Sol offensive line, especially off the edge.
Well, Echerivel, that was his 6th field goal made on the year in 9 attempts.
Nice.
And now Echerivel will get ready to kick it off for the Aztecs. Cullimore and looks like Crandall back to receive. It'll be Cullimore in the end zone, and he won't have a chance to bring it back. It'll be a touchback, and Highland will get the ball at their own 20.
Fair catch by Daniel Wood there.
Oh, my fault. Regardless, though, 1st and 10 for Highland from their own 20-yard line. And we'll see if this Highland offense can't get a quick drive down the field and get into the end zone again like they were able to do on their first drive. Herbert comes out in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to his left, Burdick and Zimmerman. But they give it to Connor Cullimore, who finds some room up the middle, scampers for about 6 yards, and is tackled out around the 28-yard line, brings up 2nd down and short. 7 minutes and 24 seconds to go here in the first quarter in this 8th ball game of the year for the Highland Hawks. They've got a well-deserved bye week coming up next week, but then they'll play Queen Creek on the road and Desert Ridge at home.
That Queen Creek game is definitely marked on my calendar, to say the least.
That's a big one. Queen Creek ranked number 4 in 6A right now. Herbert shotgun formation again. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. They give it to Cullimore again, up the middle, finds some space to the outside, and now he's got room to run. Connor Cullimore at the 30, the 20, the 10, and into the end zone for a Hawks touchdown.
Jordan, that is a veteran running back. He's got patience. He's got vision. He waited for a good 2.5 seconds. There's a flag down, but if it brings it back, that brought back an impressive display of vision and patience from that running back. It looks like it's coming back, though.
Possibly a hold there on Highland.
Too bad for Connor Cullimore. That was an impressive run. He saw a space that no one else could have seen. In the words of Kirk Herbstreit on NCAA Football 14, You want to ruin a drive? Grab a hold of somebody's jersey.
That is indeed what happened on that play. It'll back the Hawks all the way up to the original line of scrimmage at their own 20-yard line. So negate about a 73-yard run there. And it brings up 2nd down and 10. Herbert empty set this time. 2 men left, 3 men right. Herbert looking right side, complete over the middle to Cody Zimmerman. And the first down is acquired.
That's a very smart play call there. You've got corners playing up close, and you've got the safeties playing zone, kind of like a cover 2-man look there. And when you run that kind of play, you're going to have space between the middle linebackers and the safeties. So smart little crossing route there to find Zimmerman in space.
1st and 10 for the Hawks from the 31-yard line. 3 receivers this time for Herbert. And they go to Wood in the backfield this time, giving Cullimore a break. Wood, the power back for Highland, gets about 5 yards before he's tackled by a plethora of Aztecs. Halfway through the first quarter here in Tempe at Corona del Sol High School, your Hawks leading the Aztecs 7-3. A gain of 4 on the play by Daniel Woods, 2nd down and 6. Wood again in the backfield with Herbert. 3 receivers out wide. They go to the left. Does Herbert complete to
Noah Burdick?
Is that Noah Burdick out there? However it is, the Hawks get the first down after he spins out to the 47-yard line.
I think that might have been Tanner Crandall. One of those two. The numbers are pretty similar from up here.
Does look like Tanner Crandall made the play there, so credit the catch to Crandall.
Zach Gastineau subs onto the field. First time tonight he's seen the field.
And Jeff, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pass play to him. They do a lot of designed pass plays to Gastineau as well.
Yeah, he's got speed, and he's definitely in man coverage in this cover 0 look here from Corona del Sol. And you've got empty set, 5 wide. This could be the time you send him down the left sideline.
Herbert calls Huffman in motion, but they do a screen to Tanner Crandall, who's finding some space around the middle of the field, gains about 7 yards, and now is the ball loose?
I don't think so.
No, it's not. Tanner Crandall, though, gains 7 yards on the play. It brings up 2nd down. I'll make it 6. 2nd down and 4 is what they're calling it. The ball on the 47-yard line. And the Hawks into Aztec territory. Nice showing from the Hawk fans on the far sideline. As Herbert again in shotgun formation. 4 men wide, looking right, stepping up now, has to make something happen with his legs, and he's unable to do so as he's sacked in the backfield.
Yeah, this is something I don't think we do enough, but very much credit is due to the secondary there, because Herbert had time in the pocket, but nobody to throw to. And at the end of the day, there comes a point where the defensive line is going to get past the offensive line to some degree. So credit the secondary there for really tight coverage and consistently tight coverage to give the defensive line more time than usual to get in the backfield.
Number 63, Michael Hall, the man in there for the sack, brings up 3rd down and 10. I believe, Jeff, the first 3rd down of the game for the Hawks. Empty set for Herbert. 5 receivers out wide. 3-step drop. And now Herbert's got to roll to his right. Throws down the field, completes to Zimmerman at the 40. And is tackled out around the 42-yard line. Good for another Hawks first down.
There's a flag on the play, but that was an impressive job by Herbert to kind of roll out there, a little Johnny Manziel-esque, float out to the right side of the field and float one into space. His roll out there kind of allowed Zimmerman to get open.
Looks like the Hawks know that it's coming back. Oh, a delay of game call.
No, that's going to be an illegal formation.
Nope. Well, you think in week 8 I would know my referee signs, but apparently that is not the case.
So Jordan, delay of game formation. Delay of game is going to be when one arm is on top of the other arm.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it, buddy.
I'm demonstrating in the booth right now, and you guys on TV unfortunately can't see my beautiful rendition of a delay of game call. Jordan does know, however, what holding looks like. Correct?
I sure do.
Seen enough of that this season, for sure. Saw it earlier today. A couple times.
Herbert lining up again in shotgun formation here on 3rd and 15 after the illegal formation penalty. Got it right that time.
I thought it was a delay of game.
Nope. Herbert shotgun formation rolling out to his right, and they give it to Cullimore on a Statue of Liberty kind of play. And Cullimore dives across the 45-yard line. Looks like they'll mark him short of the first down. They'll bring up 4th down at about 2-ish.
That was a fun play. I like plays like that. I love plays like that.
Yeah, we know Brock Farrell from last year likes to run a lot of trick plays, likes to see what the defense will do in that situation. And now the Hawks going to line up on 4th and 3, and they get the Aztecs to jump.
It's going to be neutral zone infraction. And it'll be an automatic first down.
So great job there by Caleb Herbert to get Corona del Sol to jump into the neutral zone. Looks like number 50, Enoch Johnson, the defensive end that hopped into the neutral zone. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Highland 7, Corona del Sol 3. Herbert shotgun formation. They give it to Cullimore, who is unable to find space up the gut. Now he gets to the outside and loses 2 on the play.
Yeah, they just ran that ball right into a blitz. Not much you can do about that if you're Connor Cullimore. Just a good defensive play call there for Corona del Sol.
Seems like Corona del Sol's defense waking up a little bit here on this second drive for Highland.
Yeah, that holding penalty kind of gave him some new life.
That's right. I honestly had forgotten about that negated touchdown that Connor Cullimore unleashed.
5 minutes ago when it was 14-3?
Yes.
Like 9 plays ago?
Herbert looking right in a screen, complete to Cullimore out at the 45, the 35, the 30, now down at the 20, and tackled out of bounds after some heavy running by Cullimore inside the 20 at about the 17.
Yeah, I'm going to give some credit there to Caleb Herbert. Good job of him seeing the blitz come in from the right edge and not panicking and just making a smart throw, floating it over the outstretched arms of the defensive end and finding a Cullimore in space. That's a great veteran play by the quarterback.
Herbert in shotgun again. Play action looking to his left. Now over to his right. Incomplete in the end zone. Was looking for his tight end Kyle Hester there. But a penalty marker is down.
Looks like another hold on Highland. The third of this drive.
And it's been a theme of the season for Highland. Their penalties have hurt them in early game situations. It is a hold on the Hawks.
That's 4 on this drive. Total.
So let's see where this puts them. First down and 23 for the Hawks from the Corona del Sol 30. Herbert, another screen out to the left, complete to Crandall. Crandall finding some space on the edge and is tackled out of bounds after about a 12-yard gain. Will bring up second down and 11 or so.
Again, I have to give credit here. I love giving credit where the credit is due to the little things you don't see. Blocking again, but these slot receivers, it's Zimmerman and Burdick, creating space for, as you said, Crandall, to get downfield. They're doing a great job on both sides of the field, getting out from the slot position and making space with great blocks. You don't see that a lot from high school wide receivers, really being able to block defensive backs well.
7-3 in the waning moments of the first quarter here at Corona del Sol High School. Herbert shotgun formation. Again, a screen to the right side this time to Crandall. And Crandall about to get maybe 2 yards, a yard on the play before he's tackled by number 12, Ricky Pearsall.
Look who's back.
Now Pearsall does it all, so plays free safety for Corona del Sol.
Begs the question, where's ASU going to use him?
That is a great question. We've seen his his abilities on all ends of the ball, all three facets of the game.
Yeah, knowing what we know about ASU's roster, I can't imagine they use him as a wide receiver solely because they have about 20 of them on that roster.
Herbert now rolling left, finding space, still has time, now runs for it, and gets tackled short of the first down marker by number 11, Anthony Federico. Also down at the 11-yard line.
Coincidence?
Possibly. 4th down and 4 now for the Hawks as Austin McNamara going to come on and attempt a 21-yard, scratch that, about a 31-yard field goal. McNamara's kick up and through with plenty of leg. And the Hawks get that field goal back. It's 10-3.
And that'll do it for the first quarter.
What do you know? Yes, it will.
That was a quick one, Jordan. Less than half an hour.
It sure was. 7:24 here in Tempe. We started this game at 7. And the Hawks, with 10 first quarter points, lead this game over the Aztecs 10-3.
Yeah, I mean, 10-3 doesn't seem like that big of a gap, but I think Hawks fans need to realize now that Highland has controlled and dominated this game. It may not look like it on the scoreboard, but that's because they're dominating time of possession. I mean, it must be. I mean, we don't have any kind of stat broadcast here, but time of possession must be something like 12 minutes or 9 minutes to 3 minutes or something like that for Highland. I mean, you saw 2 long touchdown drives. One took about 2 minutes. The other one took about the entirety of the freaking quarter. Corona del Sol's drive obviously only lasted about 10 yards, 4 or 5 plays after the long kick return. So while the scoreboard may not reflect it, Highland is definitely dominating this game so far. Now you just got to start putting up some more points.
As you mentioned, Jeff, the return by Corona del Sol's Ricky Pearsall brought all the way out into Highland territory. And by that point, it was a couple of plays before Highland was able to get the ball back after a field goal by Corona del Sol. McNamara to kick from the 40. And what do you know, through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Aztecs will start at their own 20, or will they? Well, the clock wasn't set where it was supposed to be at the beginning of the quarter. So we will re-kick. Beautiful night for football here in Tempe. Haven't had a night like this in quite a while after some rain here in the valley earlier in the week. Only 80 degrees here tonight.
Yeah, it has really cooled off, and it's been lovely.
And it's supposed to stay that cool through the rest of next week as well, so some great news if you live here in the Valley of the Sun. McNamara's second attempt on the kick, also through the end zone for a touchback. And the Aztecs and their quarterback, Ryan Helt, will start at their own 20.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen them actually have to put a drive together. I mean, they clearly have a weapon, as we know, and they clearly didn't use a ton of him the last possession. They also didn't have a lot of field to work with, so we'll see what they do here. They haven't run anything resembling any kind of shotgun run yet. There's the first one.
And it's number 9 for Corona del Sol. Tackled by Cade Kamak and Kyle Olson. The ball carrier, Sebastian Gutierrez.
Empty set here, 5 wide.
Gutierrez gains 2, and it's 2nd down and 8. Helt looking left immediately, completes in the screen to Pearsall. Pearsall finding some space to the outside, and if he can beat Cullimore, he's gone. And he does. And now he's got a couple more guys to beat down the sideline. Finally tackled deep into Highland territory by number 6, Daniel Wood.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Ricky Pearsall has about 99% of the offensive yards now for the Corona del Sol Aztecs, and give him credit. Nice move there. Really poor job of open field tackling, though, if you're the Highland secondary.
As we mentioned in the open, Pearsall is their weapon. 46 receptions, 477 yards coming into today. Oh, and the ball was fumbled there by Corona del Sol, but recovered by the Aztecs. "11 minutes and 1 second left here in the first half. The Hawks leading 10-3. Helt lining up in shotgun formation, 4 men wide. Helt now looks to his left and completes over the middle, despite a good effort in the secondary by Jay-Sean Lee.
Again, Ricky Pearsall.
Looks like Pearsall and Lee are going to be battling it out all night. Saw a nice play on the opening drive for Corona del Sol where Lee was able to get in front of Pearsall on a crossing route and able to do so there. Helt pressured, and he finds a man on the running back screen who gets into the end zone for an Aztec touchdown.
Yeah, the Highland defense needs to start reading its keys on those screenplays. I mean, that's twice now that they've bit hard on that on those screenplays out of the backfield, and that's a touchdown for Sebastian Gutierrez. But again, screenplays just biting Highland. They're not reading their keys correctly on those plays.
Gutierrez, a junior, listed at only 5'4". The extra point for Corona, up and good, and it's a tie ball game.
Well, everything I said about Highland dominating the game so far is no longer true, and that's fair to say.
Quick drive there thanks to the Ricky Pearsall catch and run, and it's even at 10.
We've already seen them get him involved in multiple ways. We still haven't seen everything they have in their bag of tricks as far as he's concerned. But it's clear that Highland needs to start doubling him to some degree, whether it's with zone looks, some kind of pressure at the line, something more than just putting on one man, because it's not working.
Some more on Sebastian Gutierrez coming into today. Only 97 total rushing yards on 26 carries. Big touchdown for him there. Actually, his first of the season. So with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go, it's Highland 10 and Corona del Sol 10. Again, it'll be Emilio Echerivel, excuse me, to kick it away for the Aztecs. This time it's a booming kick into the end zone for a touchback. Highland will not have a chance to show what it can do on the kick return, and they'll start at their own 20 again. Jeff, what do you think here? A quick drive, a long, methodical drive for Highland? What's the goal?
Well, they dominated the first quarter with time of possession. And I mean, not that you're ever going to say no to scoring points, as we saw that explosive play by Connor Cullimore. But I think at the end of the day, you have to go with what's working. And I think when you want to control a game, and this is something I've seen, I've heard Herm Edwards at ASU talk about a ton, is when you want to control a game, you don't do it with big plays. You know, you can't control a game just by getting big chunk yardage every once in a while. You do it by killing clock, you do it by earning time of possession, and you do it by getting first downs. That should be your goal here. So yeah, I think a methodical drive is what Highland should be trying to do. I mean, first thing they do is gain positive yardage after that loss of a yard there. But yeah, if that answers your question.
Well, as Jeff mentioned, the loss of a yard on that play brings up second down and 11 from Highland 19-yard line. Looks like Noah Burdick and Tanner Crandall lining up on the near side. Cody Zimmerman on the far side. And Daniel Wood, the fullback, on the play, but they complete it over the middle to Crandall, who dives across the 35-yard line and is marked down at the 34 for another Highland first down. 9:36 to go in the first half. Again, if you're just joining us, tied at 10. And how we got there, a great touchdown pass by Caleb Herbert into very tight coverage to Noah Burdick, and an Austin McNamara field goal. And for Corona del Sol, it was a field goal on their first possession as Herbert incomplete on 1st and 10 there. But Corona del Sol got their points with, again, a field goal on their first possession. And an 11-yard scamper into the end zone by Sebastian Gutierrez on that last Aztecs drive. After the Herbert incompletion to Cody Zimmerman on the far side, brings up 2nd down and 10. Ball marked to the 34-yard line. Three wide receivers far side for Highland. And Wood in the backfield. And he gets the handoff here, finds some space up the middle, gains about 6 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it 4 tentatively. We'll see what they call it exactly. 3rd down and a long 3.
Yeah, I think you're going something short here to the slot receiver that looks like Burdick out there.
Herbert looking to his right, now down the field, and a crossing route incomplete. A dropped pass there by Cody Zimmerman. And that's a big one.
Zimmerman looked like he was way too concerned with running to the outside after catching that. You have to get the ball in your hands. Don't worry about getting extra yardage. Just make that play, because that just cost them potentially a drive if they can't convert here. What would have been a 20-yard gain on that play.
Coverage on the play by Ricky Pearsall, the free safety.
Him again?
Him again. Seems like the only guy we mentioned for Corona.
Hey, it's me again.
The musical stylings of Jeffrey Matthew Griffith.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And now looks like Highland is going to call a timeout. Their first charge timeout of the half, with 8 minutes and 31 seconds to go.
Did I really just sing on the broadcast?
You sure did. Jeff, unafraid. Well, Jeff, just a recap so far of what we've done here at Corona del Sol. It's a 10-10 game. The Hawks coming in here 6-1. The Aztecs with a flipped record at 1-6. And the Hawks looking to work their way into the end zone. Oh, just kidding. 4th down and 3. My fault, folks. Austin McNamara out for his first punt of the game. Back to receive for Corona del Sol is their return man, number 13, Candron Shaw. Shaw also a running back. Shaw calling for a fair catch. And did he touch it and fumble it? It looked like he did, and they're going to mark him down inside the 10-yard line after Shaw couldn't handle it and got a finger on it. Highland able to get to Shaw quickly, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Aztecs from about their 13-yard line. Well, if you're a baseball fan, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, well, today as a whole, a big game for playoff baseball as Ryan Helt gets set up in an empty set, shotgun formation, 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Earlier in the day, the Milwaukee Brewers defeating the Colorado Rockies in the NLDS as, Ricky Pearsall laid out there on an incomplete pass and a flag comes in, possibly. Was it a late hit? Maybe a hit
I don't think it's a targeting penalty, but it is some kind of defenseless receiver. It was definitely unnecessary roughness, but I don't think targeting is the call here per se. It is a targeting call.
Wow.
Now, I have to be honest, I'm not sure the rules as far as high school is concerned, but Cullimore is coming off of the field. I don't know if he's ejected or not for that targeting penalty. Obviously, we know in college the rule is ejection.
I was just going to ask you about that, Jeff. Not sure what the rule here is for the Arizona Interscholastic Association in athletics. But it is a big penalty for Corona del Sol as they keep it on the ground again and are stuffed behind the line. Let's see where they stop forward progress. Looks like a loss of at least 4 yards on the play. Brings up second down and long for the Aztecs.
Yeah, it was a good rush there. Just getting pressure me. I want to make that stop. Cullimore back in the game. So I guess it's just a 15-yard penalty for targeting.
Good news for the Hawks. Empty set again for Helt. Takes a snap, looking right, now down the middle, trying to find some time, scrambles to his right and completes, and a big tackle short of the first down marker by Daniel Wood.
Yeah, I'm going to call blown coverage there on Daniel Wood. Good job of recovering to make that tackle, but I think he just lost sight of his man there real quick.
The receiver on the play, number 6, Eric Bryce.
Looked like he was playing a shallow zone coverage there.
Brings up third down.
Cover 0 here for the Hawks. Press coverage on the corners.
3rd and 1, and now a stoppage. Are they going to want to measure this? I wouldn't think that that's what they want to do.
It looked like I saw the referee signal to his head, almost like he was redoing the targeting penalty signal. Maybe they need to discuss the previous Cullimore penalty. I'm not really sure what's going on down there. They're definitely not discussing the spot.
What we're hearing in the press box is that possibly...
Looks like a first down.
Yeah, it looks like a first down. Looks like the chains were off, and that last play by Corona did net them a first down. And that's what they will do now. They'll move the chains. And the Aztecs with a new set of downs. 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Helt again in an empty set. 3 men to his left, 2 to his right.
Slot receiver uncovered there.
Yep, they go to him in the screen. And is that Pearsall again? Looks like it. Spins across the 43-yard line, but a flag down on the play.
Yeah, looked like Cooper Holman ended up on the ground there. Daniel Wood, excuse me. So I'm thinking some kind of illegal block there, whether it's holding or blocking the back. And looks like Corona's moving back, so seems like that's the case.
It's been a game riddled with penalties so far, with 7 minutes and 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Tied at 10 apiece.
Penalties really slow down the game, Jordan.
They sure do.
The first 5 minutes of this quarter have been almost as long as the entire first.
That is true. We've gone 15 minutes here in this second quarter as Helt takes a snap, looks over the middle, tipped and intercepted! Intercepted by the Hawks! And a flag coming in, but into the end zone for a touchdown is number 8, Robert Kingsford. We'll see what the penalty is.
The flag looked like it was thrown after the interception, but there's a Corona del Sol player clapping. I'm thinking it was on the return. Some kind of illegal block.
It looks like the referee was motioning an illegal block in the back on Highland, but that was after the interception.
It is correct, and it will be Highland ball.
It will be Highland ball. The touchdown will not count, so the score stays knotted at 10 apiece, but Highland a big interception there and a big play by Robert Kingsford.
Set up around the 29-yard line.
Kingsford hasn't played much this year, was injured early on, was inserted into the starting lineup 2 weeks ago against Desert Vista. And shows his prowess on the defensive end there with the tipped ball interception.
Jumbo package here, 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. Make that 2 wide receivers. Need 11 guys out there, not 10.
Yeah, that's Zimmerman jogging out there. Burdick lined up on the outside. Now Zimmerman in motion, and Herbert fakes the jet sweep and fumbles. Herbert picks it back up and is hit hard behind the line of scrimmage and loses about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, a little timing a little off there from Herbert. He pulled that ball out of there a little too late, and it got caught on, looked like the right arm of Zimmerman. So miscues really hurting both teams so far, not just Highland, but certainly we've seen plenty from Highland.
2nd down and 13 from the 32-yard line. Is there a penalty marker thrown there, Jeff?
Don't think so.
Nope, no penalty. 2nd and 13 again. Herbert in shotgun formation. And they'll give it to Dayton Huffman, who finds some room up the middle of the right side. Gets the 1st down and more. And the Hawks are able to move the chains.
That's a great stretch play off the right side. He had a little seam there off the right tackle. Again, the offensive line doing a good job of creating space. It's just been a matter of getting to the second level for these backs. But Dayton Huffman does a good job there of finding that space off the right tackle.
1st and 10 from the 16. 6 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the first half. 3 receivers out wide for Herbert again. Play action to Cullimore, looking left into the end zone. Touchdown, Hawks!
You could see Herbert going through his progressions there. Clearly, Crandall wasn't his first target, but he saw him wide open in the slot down the seam in the end zone, and it looked like he almost double taked, like he wasn't intending to look for Crandall. Next thing you know, holy crap, he's wide open in the end zone. Fires a dart, touchdown. Great play by Herbert to really go through his progressions and make the smart throw.
Great job by both players there for Highland as McNamara comes on for the extra point. It's up and it is good, and the Hawks are back out in front at the score of 17-10. Now, when I was mentioning at the beginning of that drive, Jeff, some of the baseball scores for today in the NLDS, in the Rockies and Brewers series, the Milwaukee Brewers go up 2-0 on the Colorado Rockies after beating them 4-0 at home today. In the other NLDS series, the Atlanta Braves playing the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. Dodgers currently up 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. In the American League Division Series, the Astros and the Indians. The Astros took the first game of their series at a score of 7-2. And the Yankees and Red Sox, best rivalry in sports, matching up in the other American League Division Series. Currently 5-3 Red Sox. The Red Sox playing at Fenway Park at home.
Well, we're just going to ignore the heresy there from Jordan, disrespecting the Syracuse-Georgetown basketball rivalry. Yankees-Red Sox is okay, though. But let's go back to football for a kickoff here, Jordan.
Jeff, we know you're a big Syracuse fan in all facets of sports.
I would never express fandom of any team as an ethical journalist.
Jeff, off the air, is the biggest Syracuse Orange fan I have ever met in my life.
We're going to be ranked this weekend.
I will make it known to the world as Austin McNamara kicks to Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall makes some moves and dives across the 25, marked down at the 26 or 27, and that's where Corona del Sol will start their next drive. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go. The Aztecs trailing by 7. A great job by the Hawks on defense thus far. And, Jeff, as you mentioned, the time of possession really going in Highland's favor as well.
Yeah, so far. And, I mean, it's been a couple of negated plays have allowed them to start those methodic drives. But credit the Hawks for really being able to slowly but surely move the ball downfield.
And Ryan Helt finds some room up the middle to run, slides across the 30-yard line.
Heads up play by Helt there.
Marked down at the 32, brings up 2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard scamper. Again, an empty set for Corona del Sol. And incomplete to the near side, looking for Eric Bryce. Was Ryan Helt there? It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Eric Bryce clearly isn't 6'2", and I think that's how tall he needed to be to catch that pass. Just an overthrow there. High release point from Helt, something he can easily correct. Empty set here, 5 wide. Cover 2-man look from Highland.
Helt looking left, deep down the sideline, this time incomplete.
Ooh.
Ricky Pearsall overran the throw. Or I guess Helt underthrew Pearsall. But
yeah, I'm not sure who he was looking for there, but he either missed high on the slot receiver or underthrew Ricky Pearsall outside. But it's either way going to bring up a punt here on 4th down. Drive lasted all of 35 seconds.
And again, we go back to the time of possession, Jeff, as you mentioned. A short drive by Corona del Sol, and the Hawks will likely get it back here with Connor Cullimore back at his own 26-yard line to receive the Aztecs punt.
Yeah, the kind of offense we're seeing today from Corona del Sol is very deceptive. It's big plays, it's quick drives, and that does not sustain. Highland, the way Highland has been playing on offense, regardless, aside from some...
Oh, when they faked it, they complete it to number 13, Kandron Shaw, and now Shaw finding some open space. He makes a man miss, and a touchdown for Corona del Sol. How about that? An unbelievable fake punt. Looks like no flags on the play. And with the extra point, Corona del Sol will have tied this thing up.
Did someone say Corona del Sol was playing deceptive? That was quite deceptive, Jordan. That was also great trickery. I mean, I know when we play video games, we love calling those fake punts, but that one was actually successful for a touchdown. How about that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And a gutsy play call for Corona del Sol and their head coach, John Bechtold.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a case of a Corona del Sol team that's 1-6. They're no longer really playing for the postseason, and they're playing with nothing to lose. And you get to have some fun when you're doing that. You get to call fake punts where you snap it to the up man and throw it for 60-some yards and a touchdown.
It is a gutsy play call if there ever was one by Bechtold.
And I love it. I'm all about it.
That was fun. But for Highland, not what you want, especially in punt coverage. As now with 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, game is tied again at 17 aside. Some history between these two teams coming into tonight's game, dating back a couple of years. While Highland and Corona del Sol didn't play each other in the last 5 years until 2016, it's been Highland who's controlled the all-time matchup between the two teams. In 2016, Highland took down the Aztecs in Gilbert by the score of 28-17. That was a year in which Corona del Sol finished 17th in the state with a 4-6 record, but they missed the playoffs. And last year, Corona del Sol finishing 2-8. The Hawks also got the win last year in Week 1. And the score was 29-13. And the kick out the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Highland will start again at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, I think if I'm Highland here, I'm trying to kill as much of the remainder of this half as possible because clearly Corona del Sol is relying on its ability to make explosive plays. And like I said, that's not sustainable. It's working so far because they've gotten plenty of them. But I think Highland needs to keep doing what it's doing and just control the clock.
Well, they give it to Cullimore up the gut. Cullimore able to get about 10 or 11 yards. Good for a Hawks first down, and they'll move the chains.
And chunk running up the middle is exactly how you achieve the goal I just set out. So, credit Highland. They're listening to me. Well, they're listening to their coach, but I agree with what their coach is calling. Good stuff.
4 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the second half. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Lank. My partner, apparently, Coach Jeff Griffith.
That's me, Tony Romo.
Jeff referring to a play that he predicted earlier in the season against Hamilton in that delayed game that we had. Jeff predicted the slot receiver to cut across in a crossing route. That's what the slot receiver did, and that's what Hamilton did in throwing it to their slot receiver. A timeout taken now on the field with 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the half.
Jordan, was that the pinnacle moment of my career?
I'm not sure it was the pinnacle moment of your career, but it was pretty impressive.
I think it was.
You've seen better days, my friend.
I think it was the peak. I'm not gonna lie. That game was a wild one.
That was a wild one. That was, of course, a game at home for Highland that got delayed by lightning.
We slowly but surely spent that night watching the lightning get closer and closer and closer.
We
and then
did.
Like, oh, it's here. No more football for night.
Definitely an interesting night. Highland continued to play that game against Hamilton the next day on a Saturday morning as now Cullimore finds some space, gets the edge at the 30, at the 20, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. And Connor Cullimore gets the Hawks into the red zone. First and goal.
Well, that's not going to control the clock, but I don't think the Hawks mind. Connor Cullimore has looked very impressive against this Corona del Sol defense. He was good last week in a loss, but really stretching his muscles there on the offensive side of the ball now with 2 big runs, one of which is counted. The other one was brought back for holding. But again, the Hawks threatening.
Clock keeps running. 4 minutes, 17 seconds to go. Herbert shotgun again. He keeps and gets the pass batted down to the line of scrimmage. Wow, Herbert was really lucky he didn't have that one intercepted, and if Corona had intercepted it, there would have been nothing stopping them from a pick six there.
Yeah, that was a good play by the edge rushers there to get in his face and kind of just fluster him. I mean, he didn't have anywhere to throw, so he just kind of flung it, and that might not have been the smartest decision, but he's certainly glad to still have the ball. But credit the defensive line there for getting pressure.
Jaron Revel, the defender there for Corona del Sol. Again, they run the ball. Does Highland? It's Cullimore, and Cullimore into the end zone for another Hawks touchdown.
Little cutback run there. Pretty simple, untouched. Connor Cullimore kind of putting his stamp on that drive, which was almost entirely him. Might have been all him on the yardage for that possession. But Highland clearly using its run game here. We didn't see a lot of it early on. We saw a lot of passing, a lot of bubble screens, and this is working significantly better in my opinion.
Austin McNamara looking to make it a 7-point lead again. Snap the hold, the kick by McNamara up and through. And it's 24-17 with 4 minutes and 1 second to go here in the second quarter.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Jeff, Highland needs this win today, and if they were able to get it and end that losing mindset, I guess, if you will, I'm sure they would say that they ended that losing mindset as soon as they went into practice this week. But to get another win in the win column, if you will, sorry, stumbling over my words, folks. To get that win this week, it's a big deal for this team. And especially going into a bye week with a big Queen Creek game after that.
Such a way with words. No, that was well said, Jordan. You're exactly right. This is a key game because you've got 2 tough opponents coming up. This is effectively the worst team in your region, in your division of 6A play. And this is a key one to get back, as you said, another win in the win column. And enter these last 2 weeks maybe not feeling as pressured to pick up those last 2 wins, because I think if you win 7 games, you can feel pretty comfortable getting into the postseason, and you can turn those last 2 weeks, instead of being must-wins for a playoff spot, you can turn it into just about seeding. If you lose, it's not that big a deal. You don't have to have that pressure entering those final 2 weeks if you can pick up the winnable game tonight here at Corona.
Well, the Hawks won 7 games last year, finished 7-3, and now Helt, pressured in the pocket, finds a little bit of space, completes to a man on the far side.
Wow.
After a gain of 9 yards, it'll bring up 2nd and short.
Impressive job by Helt to evade the pressure there. That was a veteran play for sure.
That was Sebastian Gutierrez. Oh, and they do give him the first down. So 1st and 10 for Corona del Sol from their 30.
Yeah, it looked like he got it on that last lunge.
Held shotgun formation, rolling right, looking for a man in the screen, now throws deep down the sideline, dropped incomplete.
I think another case of running before you catch the ball. We've seen it now on both sides, just getting a little antsy, trying to make that big play, and you got to catch the ball first. It's fundamentals.
Well, Eric Blackwell had his sights ahead of him. And Connor Cullimore in on the coverage for Highland. 3:35 to go as Corona sets up quickly. 2nd and 10. Helt rolling right again. Now looks back to his left and completes again in the the running back screen to the far side. A gain of about 5 or 6 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Hawks did a little better job there of reading the keys in that backfield screen play. Still not picking it up. It's the 3rd time now that it's gone for decent yardage, but a little better job of not letting it gash the outside. Loose coverage here on the right side receivers.
Yeah, Corona's got 3 out there.
Something over the middle here to one of those 2 guys in the slot could be effective if you're Corona del Sol.
Helt looking left and now steps up and runs out of the pocket, slides across the 45. And is Helt hurt? Now he's on his back. Possibly hit after the play.
Yeah, it looked like Griffin Nielsen coming in and delivering the tackle. I don't think it was dirty by any means. I just think it was a football play, but bang, bang. I think he just got hit the wrong way, and he's down. Always tough to see.
Now Ryan Helt coming into today's game had 2 carries last week for -3 yards. And Helt is up and walking off on his own power.
Looks like Helt's going to come back out. Oftentimes you'll see an injured player is required to take 1 play off, but he's not there. No, he's not out there.
No, he's not. No, I was looking for him. Wasn't sure what you were seeing there. Ricky Pearsall going to line up in shotgun formation, possibly a wildcat, and they give it to, looks like Gutierrez, who's swallowed up in the backfield. And now Highland says they have the ball. Did they force a fumble?
I definitely thought that ball was out, but they're going to call him down. I didn't even see him go down.
Well, Connor Cullimore and Dayton Huffman both adamantly saying that the Hawks had the ball, not the case.
I definitely thought that was a fumble, but I mean, it's hard to see in the moment. So another timeout, Jordan.
Yeah, timeout taken by Highland. The ball will be spotted at the Corona del Sol 41-yard line. Two minutes, 40 seconds to go in this first half of play. Jeff, if you're Corona del Sol head coach John Bechtold, what are you calling here on third and actually second and long?
I'm calling something that gets me to around the 50-yard line, something I've had success with, and I think it's something along the lines of maybe you use an out route, maybe with this slot receiver here lining up right on the 40-yard line on the left hash, get him in space on the left side with some kind of crossing route to kind of mix up the defensive backs, just to get him 6-7 yards.
Well, Pearsall takes off with it, and he does get out to the 50-yard line and past the 50 into Highland territory. And down at about the Highland 48.
I don't think they're going to throw the ball that much with Pearsall at quarterback, if you want to call it that. I could be very wrong here. It's an empty backfield. But it looks like Highland's going to bring pressure.
Pearsall now looking to the sideline. Kind of similar to what we saw Arizona State do last year with couple of their running backs as Pearsall dives forward.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot in college football now. ASU obviously calls it the Sparky package because we all know how much they don't like the word Wildcat out at ASU. But we saw a lot with Kalen Ballage in his 8-touchdown game against Texas Tech back in 2016. Demario Richard did a ton of it last year. We haven't seen it much. We've seen arguably more of it with N'Keal Harry than anybody at Arizona State this season. I don't think of Eno Benjamin as much of the Wildcat type back. He's just very talented, but I don't think he's much for the direct snap. There are better ways they can use him, and they have been. Obviously, he had 312 yards against Oregon State, which was the 8th most by any Pac-12 running back of all time. The leader of that list is Arizona's Kadeem Carey, 366. And it was funny last week because I went to the Highland Mountain Point game and then the ASU Oregon State game and just saw two teams run the ball like crazy and control the game. And Highland has deviated from that this week. It worked perfectly last week, as it did for Arizona State. And I'm not particularly sure why they've gone away from it this week.
Pearsall takes the direct snap again on 4th and 2, and he's stopped in the backfield. The Hawks get the turnover on downs after the loss of 8 yards. Big tackles in the backfield, including one by number 58. That's Tyler Archibald.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think there are better things you can do with your starting quarterback not in the game than call the same shotgun quarterback sneak 4 times in a row and expect it to work. That was some baffling play calling, I'm not going to lie, by Corona del Sol, especially on 4th and 2 to call a shotgun run when you have a quarterback back there who clearly isn't throwing the ball. That's beyond me. But, I mean, maybe at least call some kind of read option or play fake. I don't know. But Highland ball.
Hawks back out there, 1st and 10 from the Corona del Sol 46. Trips out right now, a man in motion. And Herbert looking to his right, complete to Daniel Wood in the the running back screen. And Wood taken down after a gain of about 5 yards. Clock ticking under 2 minutes to go now here in the second.
Yeah, a little slip screen there by Wood, just doing what he needs to, staying behind his blockers and getting into a little space up the middle. Now at the 40.
2nd down and 4. Empty set, 5 receivers out wide for Herbert. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Herbert looks left, completes to Kyle Hester over the middle at the 35. Now Hester battles for more yardage and is tackled at the 30.
That's how you run after a catch. Bring the ball in, plant your feet, then move. We've seen it a couple times tonight, guys getting ahead of themselves with that. Credit to Hester there for that play. Heads up play.
Wood in the backfield now with Herbert. 3-step drop for Caleb. Looking over the middle, complete to Noah Burdick. Or no, is it incomplete?
That's caught.
It was caught, okay. Looked like Burdick might have dropped the ball on that play. I apologize, folks. Completed pass for a 1st down, 57.3 seconds to go here in the first half, and it looks like Highland really wants to get into the end zone.
Yeah, impressive throw there by Caleb Herbert to read the zone coverage and find kind of the opening there. Impressive play.
Herbert again looking left, and complete! Did he get into the end zone? He did! Touchdown! They call it a touchdown on the field for the Hawks. Number 13, Noah Burdick.
Defenders from Corona del Sol did not look happy. I think they thought he was bobbling it going out of bounds. But I guess we're not going to go to review here at Corona del Sol High School, as it's high school football. And the touchdown will stand. So Highland building up a little bit of a cushion going into the break.
With 43.7 seconds to go in the second half, Highland able to get on the board. Now, you may remember, folks, if you've been watching from tonight's opening kickoff, that the Hawks did receive the first half kick, so they won't get it in the second half. That's a big score there if you're Highland to go up by 14 points there.
Well, wrapping things up here in the first half. Jordan, any particular takeaways?
I think the Hawks look good, and I say that because they don't look great in my opinion. I've seen them look better than this. I think that not to be critical or anything, but I think that they could be working this Corona del Sol defense a little bit more. They did it very well on that last drive, and this is more of the Highland offense that we're accustomed to seeing. But it seemed like for a little bit of time here in the first half that they weren't really finding the openings in the passing game. They weren't really getting what they needed to. But it seems to be looking up now, and if Highland can keep this going out of the half, I think that the Hawks are in really good position to win this ballgame.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Such a way with words.
McNamara through the back of the end zone for another touchback. Surprise,
All
surprise.
I want to see is Austin McNamara put a kickoff through the uprights. That's my dying wish.
That's your dying wish. All right, well, Austin obviously isn't listening, but...
Just so I can say on the air, it's good.
No.
You'd probably say it.
I probably would say it. However, it'd be really cool to see.
Only a few yards short on that one.
Yeah, maybe about 7 or 8 yards short.
Oh boy.
And now Pearsall in a quarterback again, fumbles in the backfield and recovers, gains a little bit of yardage, and finally is taken down eventually for a 5-yard loss. Brings up 2nd down and 15 as the clock ticking under 25 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, Corona del Sol is not going to be able to do much if this is going to continue to be their offense. It's the same thing every play when Ricky Pearsall's in under center.
We see Ryan Helt here on the near side being tended to by some athletic trainers
looks
down
like
there.
concussion protocol.
Yeah, possibly. We'll see if Helt comes out of the half as the quarterback for Corona.
And a timeout with 1.7 seconds left?
Interesting strategy.
With the band chilling on the track?
Jeff, why don't you talk about this band for a second? You were out there listening to them pregame. I know you are a drum corps and marching band connoisseur. So with their halftime performance coming up here, what are your thoughts?
Well, you spot on, Jordan. Nothing better to me than the pageantry arts, the marching arts. I liked what I heard. They've got a very good, rich brass sound. The drum line's pretty clean. They move well. I have no idea what the show's about, but I like what I was hearing. So I'm excited to watch. You know, I think it's the best part of high school football. I mean, football's great, don't get me wrong. But I love me some band.
Jeff was in marching band himself back in high school.
That's correct. 3 years.
Downingtown West.
Go Whippets.
Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Budding metropolis.
And now with 1.7 seconds to go in the first half, the snap taken by Pearsall, and it'll be a jet sweep to the right side. Highland sniffs it out, and that is the end of the first half. The score, your Highland Hawks 31, the Corona del Sol Aztecs 17. The Hawks leading by 14 at the half, and now we are going to toss it to a special questions video we have prepared for you all. Here it is.
Mexican food.
In-N-Out.
Steak.
Sweet pork.
Breakfast burritos.
I'll have to go with like chicken wings.
Probably like steak or chicken.
Chicken Alfredo.
Hamburgers.
Waffles.
Pizza.
Italian.
Kale.
Caesar wrap. Pizza.
Sweet pork.
Kit Kats.
Pizza.
Flapjacks.
Chipotle.
Whatever I can find first.
In-N-Out.
Mexican.
Pizza.
Chipotle.
Chicken.
Anything and everything.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Barbecue pork chops.
Brownies.
Cheeseburgers.
Pizza.
Steak.
Pizza. Chicken wings.
Pizza.
Cheeseburgers.
Hamburgers.
Chicken.
Mexican.
Chipotle. Pizza.
Chick-fil-A.
Brisket.
Cold cereal.
Pasta. Mexican food.
Chicken Alfredo.
Chicken tacos.
Pizza.
Fried rattlesnake. Hot dogs.
Pizza.
Pizza.
My favorite sports movie is Little Giants.
The Blind Side.
Talladega Nights.
Probably Remember the Titans.
Benchwarmers.
Talladega Nights.
The Longest Yard.
Blindside.
When the Game Stands Tall.
The Rookie.
Rudy. Happy Gilmore.
Blindside.
Kung Fu Panda 3.
Little Giants. Remember the Titans.
Blindside. The Longest Yard.
The Waterboy.
Remember the Titans.
Happy Gilmore.
Benchwarmers.
The Benchwarmers.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Blindside.
The Blind Side.
Rudy. Remember the Titans.
Happy Gilmore. When the Game Stands Tall.
The Longest Yard.
Remember the Titans.
Gridiron Gang. Friday Night Lights.
Remember the Titans.
Probably The Longest Yard.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Waterboy.
Remember the Titans.
The Blind Side. Talladega Nights.
Remember the Titans.
The Waterboy.
Remember the Titans.
Rudy. The Blind Side.
Waterboy. Longest Yard.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans.
Miracle. Longest Yard.
Newport Beach.
Lake Powell.
The 250, baby. Antarctica.
Lake Powell.
The Bahamas.
Mill Ave.
Newport Beach, California.
San Francisco.
New York City.
Hawaii. San Diego.
Hawaii. Cedar Point.
Mesa, Arizona.
Mexico.
Lake Powell.
Newport Beach, California.
Nebraska.
Lake Powell.
The Morena Trench.
The 504, the Brew, baby, the hometown.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Pine Top.
Mexico.
New York City.
Home.
Mexico.
Puerto Penasco.
Hawaii.
Newport Beach.
New York City.
Oahu and Hawaii.
Carlsbad, California.
San Diego, California.
Bora Bora.
Hawaii.
Costa Rica.
Hawaii.
California.
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 California. California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
California.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, at halftime, the Hawks leading the Corona del Sol Aztecs by a score of 31-14. 31-17. Jeff, what have you seen in this first half from both sides, specifically Highland? How have they done so far?
Well, I've seen miscues on both sides of the ball. I think we're seeing penalties on both sides, broken plays. Corona del Sol's lose a lot of the big play and a lot of explosive play. I mean, a fake punt for a touchdown to kind of stay in this one. Highland's been able to put together some more methodic, long drives to kind of get points on the board. Obviously up 14 so far. Playing better defense than we saw last week. But all in all, I think this is not Highland's best half of football, but certainly better than what we saw last week. And they're on track to get back in that win column if they can play similarly, and you'd have to hope better than they did in the first half.
And Highland, of course, 31 points in the first half, highlighted by a great touchdown on the first drive, a dime, as you put it, Jeff, from Caleb Herbert to Noah Burdick. Great connection. It seems like with Herbert and all of his receivers so far.
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, I've said it a couple times. They've been blocking well for each other.
Right.
They've been running good routes. Had a couple drops, but all in all, I think the passing game hasn't been the strength. I think the run game has really been the strength. I mean, Connor Cullimore has been outstanding. But all in all, the offense has been fine. Just cleaning up those mistakes.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeff, penalties galore, and it seems like the Hawks have been able to deal with that coming out of the half, really. And we'll see if they can do the same thing here coming into the second half against Corona del Sol.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like I said, if they can just keep playing the kind of offense they've been playing and clean up some of the miscues, it should be a good half for the Hawks. Setting up here for the second half.
Well, we're almost ready to go as the clock ticking down inside 10 seconds. And now, actually, the clock set to 12 minutes as we are about ready to get underway here for the third quarter of play. Again, if you're just joining us, we welcome you into the broadcast here on our Highland Hawks YouTube channel. Hawks Nest TV, our first road game of the season in terms of the live stream broadcast. My name is Jordan Lake, alongside my partner, Jeff Griffith. A beautiful night for football.
You can say that again.
80 degrees. Really feels nice and cool, especially being from Arizona. Jeff, I know you're from the East Coast, so this is normal for you in the month of October.
No, this is...
Oh, I guess it's a little bit warm in the month of October.
This is a late August night.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at home right now. Let's find out. It's probably somewhere in the...
probably in the 60s or 50s, yeah?
Oh, yeah, 50s for sure. I mean, if I'm at a high school football game right now in good old Philadelphia area, it's probably, 65. That's actually pretty warm for early October out in good old southeastern PA. But this is certainly nice after some of the triple digits we've had the last few weeks.
Absolutely.
Shout out to that rain.
Austin McNamara kicks it away, and we are underway here in the third quarter of play. The Highland Hawks and the Corona del Sol Aztecs. A touchback for Austin McNamara. And Corona will get started at their 20-yard line. Jeff, a big storyline here in the second half. Is Corona del Sol going to have their quarterback? And the answer to that question looks like no, as I can see Ryan Helt on the sideline, helmet off, not even helmet in hand, to start off the third quarter.
Well, that's certainly a good sign for the Hawks, because the Corona del Sol offense looked lost without him on the field. Just no... Oh, my goodness, he's throwing the ball.
Now, Pearsall completes over the middle and is tackled by a big Highland defensive lineman, number 77, Monai West.
Well, just the fact that they ran a pass play there through Pearsall is a good sign for Aztecs fans, because at the end of the second quarter, he wasn't throwing the ball at all, and it was the most predictable offense I've ever seen at the high school level. So if he can keep throwing the ball, they can open things up here on offense.
Pearsall in shotgun formation, and a fumbled snap on the handoff attempt. Pearsall jumps on it, loses a couple of yards on the play, and it'll be third down and about 7.
Yeah, you're going to see some of that from a guy who's not used to playing quarterback. Handoffs are more difficult than you might think to execute, and we don't do that every day in practice. You can have some miscues like that.
Pearsall looking right. Has to find some room to run. Pressured by Weston Dana. And now Pearsall takes off, hit hard over the middle by the safety, Cade Kamak. And they give him the first down.
That was impressive. That was an N'Keal Harry reverse field 12-yard gain when you run 50 yards. that was something else, evading that pressure.
Shotgun again for Pearsall. Hands off to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez stuffed in the backfield. Or is it Gutierrez? It's not Gutierrez. It's number 4, Tim Luscombe. And Luscombe, a gain of 2 on the play. Pearsall snap, shotgun formation, and a man open down the field, incomplete.
Yeah, it's a tough pass to complete for someone who's, like we said, not the regular quarterback. Had a man open downfield, but on the run, throwing 25 yards downfield to the left across his body, that's tough for a starting quarterback to complete.
I believe that was number 10, Emilio Echerivel there. Also the kicker on this team. Listed, actually, as a defensive back on the roster. Jack of all trades. Pearsall, an empty set this time. Receivers in tight, but 5 wide. Pearsall looking over the middle, complete. First down, Aztecs.
That was a nice throw by Pearsall.
Number 6, Eric Bryce on the receiving end of an 11-yard pass play.
Bryce, little hook route there to the 43. Pearsall, good job of setting his feet, finding him, and throwing a little low, but on the money as far as getting it between 2 defensive backs that were on either side converging.
First and 10 from the Corona 43. Similar set this time. And now Pearsall will take off on his own, and he's got speed, pushed out of bounds at about the 45-yard line after a gain of 2 or 3 yards. It'll be about 2nd and 8 with 9 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now it looks like maybe a backup quarterback on the Corona sideline taking some throws as Pearsall uncorks one. Deep down the field, a flag thrown in, incomplete, and we'll see what the penalty is, possibly on Cade Kamak there in coverage.
I'm going to say that from watching the downfield route, that was absolutely pass interference on Jay Sean Lee. We've seen it a couple times before, him getting his eyes locked on the receiver and ending up committing blatant pass interference, and that was a perfect example. Just did not turn around. They might have picked up the flag.
I think they did. Nope. Okay, now they're moving.
There we go. First down, Corona del Sol.
So, a couple of seconds ago, Jeff, I saw the backup quarterback for Corona del Sol, Issam Shrek, throwing on the sidelines. But Corona goes on the ground again with Pearsall still in as the quarterback.
Yeah, he's still slinging it over there. Not sure if he'll come in or not. It's clear they have more confidence in Pearsall running the offense. I mean, he's by far their best player.
Pearsall now looking to the sideline in shotgun formation. Well, Shrek, a junior. About 6'1.5", weighing 175 pounds. As Corona on the ground again. Turns into a third down and about 5 after a gain of 2 yards. Pearsall, shotgun formation, looking left, has a man open and finds him on the right side. Complete to Tim Luscombe, or was it incomplete? It was complete. And a first down for the Aztecs. They move the chains. 8:19 to go in the third. Hawks leading the Aztecs 31-17. And now a timeout taken by the Highland Hawks. Possibly a lapse in defensive coverage there, Jeff?
Potentially. I mean, maybe they saw something they didn't like. I mean, it's a little early to call timeout, it seems like, with 8:19 to go in the third quarter. But must have seen something they didn't like there on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, Ricky Pearsall on the year has attempted a couple of passes coming into today. Nothing really of note, but he has tossed the ball a couple of times. Not much of an outcome for Corona del Sol, so you have to wonder if he came in a similar situation in previous games. Now both sides look like they are ready to go again. And it's still Pearsall out there lining up in shotgun. And Zrek is throwing on the sidelines. Isam Zrek, I-S-A-A-M the first name, Z-R-E-K the last name. And they keep it on the ground, does Corona del Sol, for a loss of about 3 yards. Again, a good job by that Highland defensive line featuring Weston Dana, Cooper Holman, and Griffin Nielsen all in on the tackle there. Clock under 8 minutes now. Hawks leading by 14. And it's second and long. And now an official timeout.
Cooper Holman was trying to get off the field there. It looked like he was the 12th man out there. Or some kind of substitution, but Highland getting lucky with that.
Yeah.
Getting lucky with that official's timeout there.
I would say so. Pearsall finds some room to run up the middle, and we know what he can do in space. Dives forward across the 15-yard line into the red zone. And another first down for the Aztecs. Jeff, something I'm seeing from Pearsall, though, is he's not protecting the ball as he runs. Not really tucking the ball under his arm like he should be.
Yeah, no, you're right. I have to say, if you're Highland, I don't know how you aren't putting a spy on him at all times, because clearly if he sees any space, he's not throwing the ball. He's immediately running. He's not thinking pass first. If he's seeing space, he's going. And you need to have a spy on him at all times.
There it is again. Pearsall taking off and hit inside the 10-yard line, short of the first down marker. First down marker at apparently the 2-yard line.
It's going to be the 7.
Ball's marked at the 7, second down and 5. Trips out to the left for Pearsall. But predictably, oh no, he dumps it off. And incomplete as the back judge is coming in and ruling it incomplete. It hit the ground. Brings up third down and 5. A break there for Highland. Jeff, I know you think that that Corona may have hauled that in.
No, it just the way that the side judge was ruling that play looked like it was a completed pass. It was confusing to watch the different reactions from the referees. I would be the last guy to tell you whether or not that was caught. I have no idea. I had no good view on that.
Oh, an empty set here for Pearsall. And he's looking left and is sacked in the backfield. And a flag comes in late.
That could be a hold or a face mask. And I'm thinking face mask, which is going to be an automatic first down and half the distance to the goal. But it could be a hold.
Well, if it is on Highland, it's a big penalty. If it's on Corona del Sol, that's great for the Hawks, as it will back them up. But let's see what the call is. It's a personal foul, a face mask against the defense. Jeff, you had it right on. So it will be first down automatically and half the distance to the goal because of where the ball is marked.
Well, a wise man by the name of Matt Griffith, when he was getting me into football as a young man, always would tell me, as he's watching the Eagles shoot themselves in the foot, penalties will kill you, man. That was his line. Penalties and we hated turnovers. Penalties and turnovers. And I learned very quickly he's very correct. And we're seeing it from Highland. No turnovers, but penalties have been a major issue. for the Hawks at the worst times.
It's a good shout out to your dad there, Jeff.
He's a good dude. Quality guy. Hi, Dad.
We don't ever shout out our parents on the broadcast. We should do that more often.
Well, I'm also going to take this opportunity then as a timeout is called to shout out my wonderful mother, the greatest human being on this earth. Love you, Mom.
I guess I'll take the time as well to...
No. Only I get to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
please feel free. Please feel free.
I'll take the time to say hey to my parents. Mom, if you're listening, hey. Hope your night's going well. Love you lots. Thanks for listening. And Dad, I know you were listening earlier in the game. You texted me earlier. And if you're still listening, thanks for tuning in. It really means a lot. Hopefully, it's been a good ball game for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed our presences on air.
Did either of your parents kind of get you into sports, Jordan?
My mom was really into. I'm a big baseball guy. Football.
No way.
Well, yeah, anybody that you meet that knows me will tell you that football is not my number one sport. But I am well versed enough in the sport to be doing what I'm doing. But baseball is my main thing. My mom taught me a lot of baseball, and her dad, my grandfather, who passed away in 2015, was really the guy who got me into most of the sports that I'm into, including baseball, basketball, and football. Picking up hockey as well this year, but that's besides the point. Back to football now. 6:36 to go in the third. Pearsall takes a snap from shotgun formation, looking over the middle, pressured, and sacked in the backfield. Does Highland have the football? There might have been a forced fumble. They do! They do! Highland comes out with the football, number 47, Griffin Nielsen.
Yeah, I don't know why it took them so long to start calling those cover zero blitzes, but that's the recipe here against this Ricky Pearsall-led Corona del Sol offense, because he's not going to beat you with any incredible throws. You can play single-man coverage on these receivers when he's throwing the football and not feel too concerned. But what he hasn't beaten them with is getting outside and evading four-man rushes. But there's no way he's evading 6-7 man up the middle. And now it forces a fumble and gives Highland all the momentum with 6 minutes to go.
Now Herbert in play action has to take off to his left and dive forward. A gain of about 2 yards. And by the way, Jeff, going back to the our whole parents thing, I don't want to discredit my dad either. I mentioned a lot on my mom's side. My dad was also my baseball coach until the time I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old.
Very cool.
It was a big
my dad got me into sports
as well.
And then I spurned him and rooted for all different teams than he liked. So he never lets me hear the end of that.
That's always fun. Handoff there from Herbert.
We root for the Mets together, although rooting is not exactly how I would describe my relationship with the Mets.
Oh, and now Dayton Huffman, who was the running back on that play.
Oh, no.
Limping off to the far sideline, possibly an ankle injury. It doesn't look good. He's going off very slowly.
He can put no weight on that ankle.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And down he goes.
Yeah, he's down on the ground now.
Oof.
We'll keep an eye on that. Herbert shotgun in the meantime, looking left, has a man open at Zimmerman, complete, and a penalty flag in near the line of scrimmage.
Well, perfectly executed timing route there. Loose coverage, quick out route, textbook, but it looks like it's coming back, I would assume, for a hold. Could be wrong, though. Could be something like illegal hands to the face on defense. Where it was called is hard to make any prediction.
As we await the call from the referees on the field, 5 minutes, 17 seconds to go. In the third quarter, that is. Highland leading 31-17. Now the officials having some consultations with each other.
And it's on Corona. I just missed whatever the referee showed us.
I'm not sure he actually made a call. He just motioned actually to the offense. He might have motioned to the wrong side.
Oh, goodness. We're moving backwards now.
Let's see. Let's see what's going on here.
We've moved about 10 yards in one direction, and now we're moving back and forth between the 35 and the 30.
Not sure anybody knows what's going on.
Yeah, the umpire is just motioning the 2-yard lines just back and forth like a ping pong match.
Over here, over there.
And it is on
Where
the 30.
Are we going?
and the chains are moving. So I think we can say with good confidence that this is where the ball is meant to be, and that the penalty was on Corona.
Whatever it was on the defense. You're right in that, Jeff, and it's a first down for Highland. We won't question it. We'll just tell you that it happened. 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Hawks. They have a tight trips bunch out right.
Look for bubble screen here.
I would agree. Nope, they give it to their back. That's Cullimore. Cullimore zigging and zagging through the offensive and defensive lines. Dives forward for a couple of yards.
Quick sweep play out of shotgun that's effective.
Number 30, Jake Schmidt in on the tackle for Corona del Sol on the play. 3 wide receivers out wide for Highland this time. Herbert gives to Cullimore, who jumps into the pile. Another flag on the play, thrown by the near side line judge. And let's see what this one is.
I'm going to assume holding. Yep, that is correct. 10 yards back.
Hold on the offense.
Highland looking quite displeased after that sweep play, set up 3rd and short. That's going to bring it back 10.
So that negates the short run by Cullimore, pushes Highland back to their own 25. They're going to call it the 26-yard line. And it's 2nd down and 14 after the holding penalty. Play action. Herbert looking over the middle. Hit hard as he throws. Incomplete. Almost able to reel it in was Noah Burdick. Check that, Tanner Crandall.
That would have been a very impressive throw if he had just gotten a little further to the right, but he got rocked as he got rid of that. That's really tough to complete. Dayton Huffman's still down over there on the sideline. Stretching out his leg.
Possibly a cramp maybe for him, you think?
I don't know. It looked like it was lower leg.
I guess it's impossible to tell without any real replay. Herbert shotgun formation, 3-step drop, pressured as he throws, tipped at the line, and
that's
incomplete.
A great play by what looked like number 7.
That is number 7. Jerron Reval, as you said, Jeff.
And a punt.
Haven't seen a lot of these on the Highland end, and that's obviously a good sign for the Hawks.
I believe this is the 2nd of the game.
Yes. Candron Shaw, the man who actually scored the touchdown on the fake punt by Corona del Sol on one of their 4th downs. Back to receive at his own 31-yard line. McNamara punting from the 11 and just able to get it away. And fair caught, apparently, at the 35-yard line, and that's where Corona del Sol will start. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Hawks looking good so far, up by 14 points, 31-17. This Aztecs defense has played Highland tough here, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, that was an impressive stand there. I mean, penalties certainly didn't help. I mean, you had opportunity of 3rd and short. You called for holding. There's a near sack.
It's Pearsall still in there. Pearsall hit as he throws, but completes.
Okay, that was very impressive.
It was. Near side here to number 14, Eric Blackwell. Wow, Ricky Pearsall really can do it all, it seems like, as the Aztecs get the 1st down. I've been impressed by everything I've seen from him, just about.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Division I athlete. that's not in question. I won't be covering the beat by the time he's there, but I have to wonder how the Sun Devils will utilize his diverse athleticism. He's listed and recruited as a wide receiver, but I think athlete would be a very more accurate moniker for his quote-unquote position.
Sebastian Gutierrez on the ground there, tackled on the play by Cooper Holman. Brings up 2nd down and 11. And now Pearsall scrambling to his left and still scrambling. Finds some room to run finally near that far sideline. Gets about 5 yards on the play before he's taken down. It'll be 3rd down, and about 6 or 7. Depending on the spot.
Looked like defensive back Cody Martinez cramped up on that play, got to the sideline.
Pearsall near side incomplete. Looking for Bryce. And quickly, Jeff, 4th down.
Yeah, that was...
Talking about time of possession again.
Minute and 20 seconds off the clock on that drive.
2:34 to go in the third.
So far. Looks like they might go. Yeah. 4th and 5 here at the 49 of Highland. And they're going an empty set. This is a bold move down. Down 14, late third makes sense.
Wonder if they'll try to draw Highland off sides. That's not the case. Pearsall over the middle, incomplete.
Yikes.
Underthrew his man, and Highland takes over. Was looking for Eric Blackwell there.
That's an understatement. That was 3 or 4 yards underthrown. Not what you want to see if you're Corona. Probably the first thing Pearsall's done today that I haven't been impressed with. But it happens in a very key situation, and now Highland's going to take over. They can kill some clock and put this one away if they can get in the end zone. Early in the 4th quarter now at this point, unless they have some kind of quick play here to get downfield.
Still in the third, 2 minutes, 29 seconds to go. But, Jeff, I understand what you're saying. If they can keep a slow, methodical drive here, they've got 51 yards to go as they're setting up from their own 49-yard line as Kyle Hester comes in late on the play, sets up as the tight end. And Herbert trying to draw Corona del Sol off sides, unable to do so. Goes up to the line, calls an audible, back into shotgun formation, snapped and given to the running back on the play. Not sure if it was Wood or Cullimore. We're hearing Daniel Wood on the play. A gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Well, they're calling it a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Excuse me. As we reach the 2-minute mark here in the third. And Jeff, I think, alluding to what you said earlier, Highland really slowing things down here with the play call, getting to the line. As Herbert keeps the ball. Dives forward for a gain of about a yard.
He's down. His helmet was briefly in the ground there. He's limping now, being held up by number 13, Noah Burdick. But he's a warrior, and he's getting back in the backfield for now.
That's not good at all. That's not what you want to see if you're a Hawks fan.
In the words
he's favoring that right knee, possibly.
In the words of one of my roommates, that's not what you want.
Big shout out to Josh Zaklis.
My guy.
On the ground to Wood, who finds some space, shifts to his left, has some room to run. Wood at the 10, the 5, touchdown Hawks.
Well, quarterback gets hurt. Why not let Daniel Wood run for 45 yards and a touchdown to put this one away? Not effectively over, but I think 38-17 is relatively insurmountable after what we've seen from this Ricky Pearsall-led Corona del Sol offense in the second half.
No Dayton Huffman, no problem. No Caleb Herbert, no problem.
Yeah, that was just textbook. Great blocking at the line. Wood gets through the hole, sees space off to the left, and just bursts. That's impressive.
I think that's what's so great about this Highland team, Jeff, is that they're so dynamic in almost every position.
Yeah,
they're able to do just about anything they want to do, and that's why they were rated number 1 in 6A last week. Of course, this week back down to number 5 after the loss to Mountain Point, but really it's just a testament to how good they are at every position out there on the field.
Yeah, I was reading something on ArizonaVarsity.com, which is run by one of my colleagues, Ralph Amsden, and one of his writers was talking about Highland, and he said he hadn't really bought into the Highland's hot start. He wasn't sure if they were legit, but he said he got out to one of the recent, I believe it was the Desert Vista game, and what he described was a team that doesn't have like that one guy that's like particularly Heisman level athlete, just incredible player, but it's just a very well-oiled team that plays well together and doesn't really have a major weakness. I mean, we've seen it. When Highland is at its worst, it's when it's beating itself. And earlier today, Cord Chrisman in our pregame interview spoke to that, talking about not beating ourselves as they did kind of last week. But I think that write-up was exactly right. I think there's no one highlight guy on this team. There's just a lot of guys who play well together and understand the scheme that Brock Farrell has implemented here at Highland in 2 years.
Another McNamara touchback with 52.6 seconds to go. And now we are receiving word, ladies and gentlemen, that the Boston Red Sox, if you're a Major League Baseball fan, have won the first game of their American League Division Series against the New York Yankees.
What if you're not a Major League Baseball fan? Did they still win?
They sure did. But Jeff just was alerting the baseball fans. If you're not a baseball fan, then I guess that doesn't. Really mean much.
I think there's an overtime game in hockey.
Preseason
basketball.
Yeah. Or you could just stay here and watch our football game.
College football exists.
Don't go anywhere.
Georgia Tech put up 66 at Louisville. Holy cat! What? Whoa. Louisville's bad, my friend. ACC football. Sorry if there's any Louisville fans on the broadcast. BYU getting torched 42-13 at the hands of Utah State. Remember when BYU was ranked?
I do. As a penalty flag thrown on the field, BYU ranked, I believe, as high as, 19 or 20?
I think they hit 20 before they lost to Washington. Now they are getting absolutely obliterated at home by Utah State. 66-31 Georgia Tech. Holy cow.
We've got everything on the broadcast for you tonight. All sports.
Let's check out MLS soccer, shall we?
No thanks, as Pearsall goes deep. Complete! Wow, what a catch. Wow. And Corona del Sol may have a man in the end zone by the time this play is over. They do not, as he gets out of bounds at the 15-yard line. An unbelievable play by Corona. Wow.
Jordan, one of my roommates has a tendency to just fling the ball on video games and get very lucky. And it makes you want to throw the controller through our eight-story window out the balcony and down onto the street. And that's that kind of play. Just flinging the ball up there. Cornerback misses on it. Next thing you know, receivers bringing it down and rolling down the field. That's a frustrating play if you're the Highland defense. But credit the receiver for cutting back to the ball, making that play, and turning and seeing green and going. I mean, that was not a very good throw. But the receiver made a play on the ball, and to his credit, got a huge play and a spark for the Corona del Sol offense to end the fourth quarter.
Third quarter, that is.
To end the third quarter.
Don't want to throw you off, ladies and gentlemen. The game is not over.
The fourth quarter is not over. This game is not over.
Highland leading 38-17, however, as we enter the final 12 minutes of play here in Tempe, Arizona, on the campus of Corona del Sol High. Corona del Sol, of course, the alma mater of first-round 2018 NBA draft pick Marvin Bagley III. Bagley, out of Duke University as a freshman, went second overall to the Sacramento Kings. After Arizona's own DeAndre Ayton went to also Arizona's own, the Phoenix Suns, first overall.
Did he really, Jordan?
He did.
Interesting. I wouldn't have known. A couple other notable alumni from Corona del Sol High School, according to the ever-reliable Wikipedia. New Orleans Saints offensive lineman Andrews Pete. Defensive lineman for the New York Giants, Avery Moss. A lot of NFL here. Plenty of NFL. Ashley Hansen, second baseman for the U.S. national softball team.
They represent well here in Tempe at Corona. The Aztecs keep the ball on the ground and get a yard. 2nd down and 9 as the teams have flip sides of the field. A 21-point lead for Highland, 38-17. 2nd down and 9 from the 15 here in the 4th quarter. Pearsall, shotgun formation. Oh, just kidding. That's not Pearsall now. Pearsall actually in motion. Looks like Zrek is in the game. Yes, complete there to number 13, Kandron Shaw. Ooh. Shaw making some moves and finally tackled by a barrage of Highland defenders and a late flag coming in, possibly a late hit here.
Number 63, Michael Hall, just kind of got in his way there. He had space up the sideline. He ran right into his back, and you could see Hall just kind of like making like a really face, like I did that. But tough break. But I don't know who this penalty is going to be on.
Let's see what we've got. No call yet.
Looks like we're moving in the direction of Highland. And that is the case. Not sure what the penalty was. Could have been a face mask, half the distance to the goal. Off the field comes Cord Krisman. And on comes Tyler Archibald. Quick substitution there during the break for this penalty.
Oh, some kind of personal foul penalty there. Makes it 1st down and goal now. Ball marked at the 5-yard line. Corona del Sol knocking on the door here in the early minutes of the 4th quarter. 11 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the ball game. Issam Zrek in shotgun formation. A man in motion.
10 personnel.
And into the end zone for Ricky Pearsall. Oh, almost made a great catch in the corner, but incomplete, and Pearsall upset with himself.
He made Jayshawn Tate put him on skates, just fell over. He's winning that battle so far on the edge.
Yeah, Jayshawn Lee, not great coverage there, but it didn't matter as Pearsall couldn't reel it in. 10 minutes, 45 seconds to go.
Did I say Jayshawn Tate?
You did.
Ohio State basketball player Jayshawn Tate. Oops.
So Zrek in shotgun again. Looks like Kandron Shaw to his right.
Highland showing blitz. And Zrek is going to audible.
Looking to his left again to Pearsall. One-handed catch. No, incomplete. But a penalty flag, and it'll likely be a pass interference call.
Yeah, he got mauled by Dayton Huffman, who is back in the game.
That's good to see.
Huffman, 5'9", not really measuring up with Pearsall and getting physical there on what is likely going to be a DPI, defensive pass interference. And it is that. Bringing up, looks like 2nd and goal at the 5.
Whatever it is, it's half the distance to the goal, I believe. So
that'll be 2.5 yard line.
Yeah, the 2.5 yard line.
2nd and goal, still. Again, spreading the field here. Under center here, look, for Zrek.
First time we've seen that from Corona del Sol tonight. Takes a snap, and he'll take it himself. And no, he won't. Denied by the Highland defensive line.
It looked like Griffin Nielsen just got in there and stood him up. That was an impressive play to read that gap and close it in a minuscule second.
The last man to get up there, number 90, Kyle Olson, who broke through the line and made that tackle. Impressive there by the defensive line for Highland, which has been really good all year. 3rd down and goal from the 2.5. Let's see what Corona del Sol trots out there here. Shotgun formation again for Zrek. Four receivers out wide, calls one in motion now. Takes a snap, looks left to Pearsall again. Incomplete, great coverage by Dayton Huffman. Pearsall wants a face mask penalty. He's not going to get it, and it's 4th down.
What Pearsall wants, I know I know the gesture you saw. He was moving his hand up and down. He was pointing, like saying to his quarterback almost, bro, put that ball higher. I've got 3 inches on this cornerback. Credit to Dayton Huffman making a nice play, but if that ball's higher, Pearsall gets the ones, and that's a touchdown. And a timeout called here on 4th and goal by Corona del Sol. 9:49 to play here in Tempe.
Beautiful night.
See if there's any more notable alumni from here.
Yeah, go for it.
Jesse Forbes, a two-time All-State and NJCAA All-American wrestler, professional mixed martial artist, formerly with the UFC, word for word off of Wikipedia. Eric Halverson, bassist for the band A Rocket to the Moon. Have you ever heard of A Rocket to the Moon?
I've never heard of A Rocket to the Moon, but I'm sure some of the Corona del Sol students here have heard of that band before.
I'll have to look them up for sure. Andrew Scooter Melander has a long list here. Quarterback at Phoenix College, Colorado State. Played for the Browns, Chiefs, and Giants. Played in the AFL and is currently coaching at Brophy.
Wow, interesting. That's quite a stat there.
That's a resume.
Saw on that list as well Lindsey Fry. I know Lindsey Fry played women's hockey for the U.S. national team. In
bona fide hockey fan?
I'm not a bona fide. The reason I know about Lindsey Fry is because I have a friend from high school, as Pearsall rolling to his right on fourth down, trying to get into the end zone. Up and over! Did he get in?
He did.
He did. Wow. Touchdown. What an effort there by Ricky Pearsall.
Wow. That guy's a warrior. Reminds me of Eric Dungy. That was an impressive touchdown run. Got chopped out with his legs from under him.
Goodness gracious.
In midair.
That's like something we saw in college football last year. I believe it was UCLA and, if I'm not mistaken, either USC or Stanford, when the running back went up and over and got lit up and did 360 and a half in the air over the goal line.
Didn't he land on his feet?
I don't remember. I'm not sure. It was something similar to that, but
yeah, I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, the point being that Pearsall did something similar to that. The extra point is up and good, and now the Aztecs cut this thing to a 14-point deficit. What an effort there by Pearsall. Wow.
Yeah, it was impressive. I mean, they threw two fades to him. One, he got mauled for a pass interference penalty. One, the ball was thrown way too low. And I guess he just said, I'm done being thrown to. I'm taking this in myself. And he got the job done. It's 38-24 now with, I can't see the clock, Jordan. How much time is there?
9 minutes, 40 seconds.
Okay. Not necessarily one of the quicker games we've seen from Highland this year.
Not quite. However, Jeff, you mentioned you couldn't see the clock. That does bring up a nice caveat. Tonight here at Corona del Sol, we are in the press box. That's not something we normally have at the away schools. We are in our own private little room here at the end of the press box. It's really great. Not much noise in here, and really able to focus on the action and not be distracted on what's going on around us.
I think closet is the accurate term for this this architectural design, but still works.
There's a window. I mean, are there normally windows in closets? I wouldn't think so.
What kind of closets do you have?
Not ones with windows. As McNamara's kick goes through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Looks like Highland was preparing for an onside kick there. I'm not particularly stunned they didn't onside kick it, but down by 14 makes sense. Try to stay in the game. Highland can effectively kill several minutes off this clock now if they can get a drive going.
Oh, correct. I said McNamara kicked that off, didn't I? My apologies, Emilio Echeverrivel.
He plays for Highland.
I do. I do know that. I apologize, Jeff. I am sorry. Austin's family, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Ooh, wow, what a run there by Max Davis, number 27, one of the reserve backs coming in for Highland and getting some positive yardage. A gain of about 7 yards brings up second down and a long 3.
Always encouraging to see good production out of your second teamers.
Yeah, Max Davis, just a sophomore, and we see him come in when the Hawks are up big, and Herbert completes a pass to the far side after a gain of a couple of yards. Jeff, you're motioning first down. Let's see if they got it here with 8 minutes and 57 seconds to go. They did.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hawks will move the chains.
Just for the sake of saying it, Herbert might have been over the line of scrimmage on that throw.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But didn't get the call.
At this point, it's insignificant. Herbert wants an offside call there, but I don't think he jumped over the line.
Good hard count, though.
Absolutely. I think the way they're playing coverage here, I bet you could get a deep ball down the field here on the right sideline, but they're going to run it.
They give it to Davis again, trying to eat some more time off the clock. Davis, the sophomore, gains about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, most of the second-team skill position players are in. You've got wide receivers like Grayson Kennedy, Zach Gastineau out there. As we said already, Max Davis at running back. Herbert's still in the game, but they're getting some of these second-team guys some snaps here with a 14-point lead late in the game. I'd say that's a smart call.
I would think so too. Keep your main guys healthy. Keep your starters in good health as Davis dives forward.
He's going to set up 3rd and short.
Some more Major League Baseball updates. The Los Angeles Dodgers victorious tonight as well, much to the dismay of most Diamondback fans.
Ethics.
No ethical dilemma there.
Beat LA. Beat LA.
Herbert trying for the hard count again.
Deceiving headline on that update I got on my phone. It said they rolled. They won 3-0, Jordan. Would you say that's rolling?
Depends on the pitching performance, but
I think the answer is no.
I would say no. Is Cullimore back in the game? Cullimore gets the first down, and the clock keeps running. Oh, actually, scratch that. The clock stops for the chains to move, but will run when they are set. They are now set. The clock does move. 1st and 10 from the Highland 48-yard line, 38-24 in favor of the Hawks. A 14-point lead here in Tempe, Arizona. Herbert over the middle, complete, and with space is number 3. Not sure who that is, but number 3 had some space there. We don't have number 3 on our roster, unfortunately. We apologize. We're working on it. Number 3, Zach Schroeder. Listed on our roster as number 28. That's bizarre.
Looked like a personal foul on a Highland. Looked like a hit to the head of some kind, the way the ref was motioning. That's going to be a big loss of 15 from the spot of the foul. Or from the line of scrimmage, excuse me. So 1st and 25 now from the 32 for the Hawks. I mean, maybe this is just the cynic in me, but that does give you more field with which to kill the clock, does it not?
It does. 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go. I think on first down, the Hawks could very well do that. Herbert, play action, looking over the middle. Oh, almost complete to Kyle Hester. Maybe a little bit overthrown. Maybe Hester should have had his hands on that one. He thinks he should have had it.
I said kill the clock, not stop the clock.
Oh, well. 6 minutes, 12 seconds to go on the incompletion intended for Hester. Brings up 2nd down and 25 for the Hawks. Up next on the schedule for Highland, this being their 8th game of the year, and barring anything unorthodox here, Hawks will move to 7-1 as Connor Cullimore takes the handoff there. No gain on the play. Turns into 3rd and long. But the Hawks next week have their bye week, a much-deserved one at that, after a great start for this team.
I think we've earned it too, Jordan, have we not?
I think we've earned it too, Jeff. I think you're absolutely right.
I think our producers have earned more than we have.
Yes, a big shout-out tonight to Jordan Evans, who is filling in for Miss Bella Cisneros, who is back home for fall break at a wedding in her native New Mexico. We hope she's having fun out there in the wedding as Herbert pressured falls forward and loses about 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up a long 4th down. But, Jeff, after the bye week for the Hawks, they've got a tough Queen Creek team. That'll be on the road, and then they finish their season at home against the Desert Ridge Jaguars, the crosstown rivals of the Hawks.
Yeah, that Queen Creek game could be quite the shootout. The Bulldogs are perfectly content to beat teams 40-30, 55-30, whatever. That could be a very defense-lacking game. That's a high snap. Oh, boy.
Uh-oh, McNamara tackled at the 1-yard line.
Looks like they're going to give him 4 progress to 5.
Oh, whew, goodness gracious.
Well, if you're Corona del Sol, you've got about 5 yards away from a 7-point game. With 5 minutes on the clock, I'd say this one's not particularly over.
No, it's not, and that's a big play.
You did say, barring anything unorthodox, I would call a sack on a punt unorthodox.
I would as well.
But that'll be first and goal at the 5 for looks like Pearsall back under center. Well, I don't know if he's going to be under center, but he's definitely running the huddle. And he's not under center. He's in shotgun. How much willing to bet he runs the ball in here? Or at least tries to run the ball in here?
I would think that's the goal here, and he's going to take off to the left side at the 5, and he's stopped by the Highland defense, number 47, Griffin Nielsen.
He's going to have to show this defense something else than just running to the outside. Like, there comes a point where you just can't just miss tackles. You have to run a play, and Highland is eating that up every time he does it. He's got to throw the ball or run play action, something, to get this defense back on its heels.
Well, Corona del Sol possibly not liking what they saw from Issam's wreck.
Watch out for a read option play here.
3 men out wide for Corona del Sol. Pearsall rolling to the right, now looking back left. Trips and is sacked in the backfield. Cooper Holman jumping over the top of Pearsall there. And that's a big play for Highland.
Yeah, suddenly you go from 5 yards away from making this a 7-point game to, holy cow, we need 16 yards to try to make this a 7-point game. And they have 2 plays to do it. A couple of negative plays really hurting Corona del Sol, who had a great chance to make this a game.
Trips outright for the Aztecs, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by Jay Sean Lee, and he's got space in front of him. Just has to beat Pearsall, and he's cutting to the other side of the field, cuts back now, and is tackled by Pearsall at the 35-yard line, and the Hawks have put this one on ice.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. About a minute ago, I was saying Corona del Sol was 5 yards away from being within 1 possession, and now here we are, and the ball is on the other side of the field. So now what you want if you're Corona del Sol in that kind of gifted situation. But Highland gets the break it needs. Great play by Jay Sean Lee to read that play and pick that off, and that should effectively make Highland 7-1. So that matches last year's win total.
It does. 3 minutes, 24 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
Regular season win total.
Highland will keep it on the ground with Max Davis. Penalty flag in on the play.
Another flag. The color yellow is going to be haunting my nightmares, Jordan.
Don't go home and listen to Coldplay then.
Boo.
Sorry, folks.
Jordan's not funny.
I thought that was a good joke.
Not funny.
No? All right. Holding penalty on the Hawks.
Okay, it was kind of funny.
Thank you.
Only a little bit, though. Three out of 10.
I'll take that. What the Hawks won't take, though, is a holding penalty. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and we'll back them up. It'll become 1st and 20 now from the Corona del Sol 45-yard line. Herbert's still in there, kind of surprising to me, Jeff. And Max Davis back on the ground. A gain of, call it 6 or 7 yards, and a timeout taken by Corona del Sol. They want to slow this thing down. Yeah, Jeff, do you think there's a reason that we don't see True Tanner here come in the game for Caleb Herbert? Is there something on the mind of Brock Farrell on that offensive side of the brain?
I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. Maybe the first thing I can think of is maybe he just wants to give Herbert experience in salting a game away. I mean, he has experience in that field, but maybe he just wants to give him more. I can't think of any other concrete reason why you'd specifically want to leave him in, other than just for posterity's sake. I don't know. I mean, just leave him in to leave him in. Maybe we see him come out of the huddle here, Drew Tanner. Could be any number of reasons. It is going to be Herbert coming back out, it looks like. But, yeah, I'm not going to question it. I don't think it's the wrong move.
Yeah, it's not any sort of bash
I don't know if there's
at all. No.
Particularly a valid reason that makes the right move, but I don't know if there's a valid reason that makes anything the right move at this point. You're just kind of salting this game away slowly but surely with how much time left, Jordan?
2 minutes and 52 seconds to go.
How many timeouts does Corona del Sol have?
Corona del Sol is out of timeouts for the half. They burned their last one. Highland still has 2 on the clock, which I doubt they'll use. On the ground to Davis, who goes up the gut into a couple of Aztecs defenders. Gets about 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 11 or 12.
Yeah, at this point, Highland does likely have to throw the ball here on a 3rd down in order to keep killing the clock and putting this one away.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Corona get one more possession at this point. But if you can pick up this 1st down, you can effectively end the game. So, as if it wasn't already pretty much sealed, but this would pretty much get you to the point where you can run a couple more run plays, pick up a 1st down, go victory formation, get out of here with a W.
I think the Hawks are going to try to run this clock down as far as they can. Tanner Crandall in motion. They'll give it to him on the jet sweep. He cuts upfield and is tackled behind or maybe at the line of scrimmage. That brings up 4th down with just under 2 minutes to go. And we'll see.
I'm feeling a 54-yard Austin McNamara field goal.
And it looks like that's what is going to happen as Noah Burdick.
A 55-yarder coming here from Austin McNamara.
Noah Burdick out there for the hold for the Hawks.
There's Corona sending a return man back.
They don't know the power of Austin McNamara.
Well, now you've put some pressure on
the snap, the hold, the kick. McNamara had it blocked at the line of scrimmage. And it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I think McNamara tried to get distance on that by keeping it low, and he went a little too low.
Unfortunate for him, but for the Hawks, they still have a 14-point lead here with 1 minute and 18 seconds to go in the ballgame and no timeouts for Corona del Sol.
A 55-yarder, if you can make that, you're officially one of the 10 best college football kickers in FBS right now. I mean, there are NFL players who aren't hitting that. But credit to Austin McNamara for giving it the old college try. I'm sure he'll be giving it the college try in college.
Yeah, very soon.
He's got 5 offers on the table.
He does.
Want to list them off for us, Jordan?
Sure, yeah. Arizona State, Arizona. Oregon, also an offer. Also has an offer from... Actually...
I want to say Nebraska?
Yeah, Oregon's not the offer. I always throw Oregon in with that offer. I'm not sure why. But it's Arizona, Arizona State, Nebraska, Missouri, and BYU. From,
Jordan remembering his facts.
Yes.
Fun fact, just throwing a little beef in here. Austin McNamara listed on 24/7 Sports 2 slots above Ricky Pearsall in Arizona's 2019 recruits. So a little bragging right there.
McNamara also one of the best punters in the nation. Actually, I believe he's ranked as the #1 punter in the nation in terms of 24/7 Sports rankings. Now Corona gonna line up in a wide empty set here. Looks like the Hawks will not play a prevent here, but will let the quarterback Pearsall take off and throw. And incomplete to the near sideline. A big hit by number 24, Cade Kamak. 1 minute and 10 to go. So, Jeff, going into the bye week, the Hawks getting a big win here. Effectively, it'll be 38-24, the final.
Should be.
It should be, yes.
No guarantees. Corona does have the ball.
Yes. This is a big win for them, as we've discussed. 7-1 on the season. This would make them, and going into a bye week where they've got time to practice for a really good Queen Creek team, as that one falls incomplete, and 1 minute and 3 seconds are left on the clock. This is a big one for the Hawks.
Yeah, I think it's a big one. They didn't necessarily show us that they had solved all the problems that showed up last week, but a win's a win, and they got one that they should have against the worst team in their conference. Which Corona will now drop to 1-7, and that's Highland will improve to 7-1, and so you see the talent gap there. But I think for momentum's sake, going into the last 2 weeks, this is good. This sets you up for 2 big games, and you get this winnable game. You get the win. So yeah, I'd say it's a big win from that perspective.
Has Pearsall sacked in the backfield. Loss of a lot of yardage, like 15, I believe, on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and very long. It'll keep the clock running, and we'll likely see 2 more plays, at least 1 more play, run by Corona del Sol. This clock ticking under 25 seconds now. Let's see if Corona's just going to take a delay of game penalty and kneel it out here.
Well, they can't do that. It's 4th down.
Oh, it is 4th down. You're right. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. The clock running under 6 seconds, and it stops at 5.9. It is a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, they might just fling the ball here and let the clock run out while it's in the air, or punt it away and let the clock run out that way. I don't particularly know what their game plan is, but they certainly can't kneel the ball on 4th down.
For the sake of time purposes, I really hope that there isn't a safety here. Although,
I'd imagine the safety would effectively end the game if it took long enough to develop.
Yes, I also agree. Just under 6 seconds to go. Corona del Sol will send out, looks like their punt team. And Connor Cullimore to return for the Hawks. And Corona del Sol getting some late personnel onto the field. Looks like a gunner and a lineman on the play. The punt drops inside the 45-yard line, and the clock will expire. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your ball game. The Highland Hawks flying high yet again at 7-1 here at Corona del Sol High School after a big 38-24 victory here against the Aztecs. Again, ladies and gentlemen, a bye next week for your Highland Hawks. They'll come back in 2 weeks on the road against the Queen Creek Bulldogs, currently ranked as the number 4 team in 6A. And Highland, with the win, hopefully for them, will climb up that power rankings. Again, the final score, 38-24. For our producer, Jordan Evans, my partner, Jeff Griffith, I'm Jordan Lank. We thank you all for tuning in tonight. The Hawks at 7-1 after a 38-24 victory against Corona del Sol. Good night, everybody.